This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA-Holes!
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
No way.
From the Aunts and Uncles Studios of Arizona, Usman versus Edwards 2, is that a thing? UFC Vegas 43, Vieira versus Tate, Fight Week, Big Mo, live on the show, Tyler Randall from BKFC, live on the show, MMA News with the MMA-Holes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Welcome. Was it snow? It's snowing in the desert over here. You see the poster of the UFC Vegas 43, Vieira versus Tate, that's going on Saturday night. And we're live. We're here. We're wonderful.
Wonderful.
Welcome to the show, friends. We are the MMA Holes. This is our Wednesday show, and we have another jam-packed show prepared for you tonight. We have JBM will be with us very shortly. She's with baby and doing some stuff. But let's start off the show with a bang tonight. Let's start off the show with a man that's bigger than life. With a man, this guy is all over the fucking place. 26 years old. This guy's a goddamn celebrity. Let's bring on the show for the, it's like the fourth or fifth time. I don't even know how many times anymore. Big fucking Mo. Let's go, baby. Woo!
What's going on?
Oh, man, we are wonderful, wonderful. It's good to see that big smiling face. Welcome back to the show, Cody.
Oh, thank you for having me back, man. What was it? This is now the fourth show I've done with you guys. I think the last time I was on was before the XMMA 3 show, so glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
I tell you what, it's weird, right? It feels like just yesterday, the first time you hung with us, and now it's like you're a regular here, and it's good to have you back. You're doing big things. The XMMA stuff looks like it's working out really well, and then we find out that you have some fantastic news to drop on the world. I saw a little sneak peek online. Can you tell us what's new in the Big Mo universe?
Yes. Well, I'm excited to say that I am joining another promotion. Another promotion liked what I've been doing as an announcer, and so I'm happy to join into the bare knuckle world with BYB Extreme, Backyard Brawls Extreme. It's headed up by the Real Data 5000, and they're making waves in the bare knuckle arena, and they fight in the Trigon, and so I'm just excited to keep working, excited to be on with another show that is looking to penetrate a new market and grow. So
I like that word, penetrate a new market. I like where you're going with this, Big Mo.
Oh, we're back.
Perhaps a new slogan, right? Let's get ready to penetrate. No? All right. We'll do that later in the show. BYB, this is exciting. So I have to be honest. I've heard of them, but I didn't know too much. So what I did was I went down the rabbit hole, and the first thing that I noticed was Mike Goldberg. Is he still doing the play-by-play for this organization?
Yeah, no, the media team that they have is actually exceptional. I mean, you have Mike Goldberg, Paulie Malignaggi, Benny Ricardo, Al Bernstein. Oh man, who are the obviously Data 5000. I mean, the media team that they've put together is really impressive. And they're looking to make a big splash. They have some great people behind it from the production standpoint. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great show, man. And I'm excited that they like what I do. And yep, there's the squad right there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So first thing, of course, that stuck out to me was the Dada 5000. Is this his company?
So I don't know the exact history of the brand, but as far as I know, he was obviously he's the face of it. He's the guy that really pumps it around, whether it be on social media. And I believe that how it all originated, and I apologize if my historical knowledge isn't 100% accurate, but he was very, very active in the bare knuckle fighting before it became this league or this sport in and of itself. You know, he was doing a lot of things that, you know, Kimbo Slice had originally started with the backyard brawls and stuff like that. And so then it transformed into its own organization, and they fight inside a triangle, which is exciting. And, you know, we've seen the triangle ring come out more because I think Triller is going to try something similar with it. And so, yeah, I mean, the triangle ring is interesting. They call it the Trigon. And the reason why it's interesting is that it's rather difficult to get into the corner because there's almost no room to get in the corner because the angles are smaller. So
it's pretty interesting. I tell you what, I like their the way they market themselves here. As I was scrolling through their IG, it's BYB Extreme. Check them out on Instagram over there. And I have to be honest, when I saw Mike Goldberg, I got a little giddy. John Anik is great, you know, but Mike Goldberg, that guy was the voice. Here we go. Like that guy got me when he left the UFC. I was like, oh my God, what is the UFC going to do now? I miss Goldie. He went over to Bellator, bouncing around a couple of different places, and here he is with BYB. This is pretty exciting to hear Goldie do bare knuckle boxing. Yeah,
and I mean he's alongside Benny Ricardo, who's done a lot of boxing in the past, and he's obviously alongside Paulie Malignaggi, former world boxing champion, fought bare knuckle himself. Paulie was instrumental, I think, in growing BKFC because I think he was the BKFC 2 fight against Artem Lobov. That was the first time I ever heard about BKFC. So yeah, they have all the right pieces. They have a lot of the people in that they need, and I think that they were in search of a ring announcer that, you know, could help them take them to the next level, and they like what I do, and now I'm just a part of the team, and I'm going to play my role. So
this is pretty exciting.
And they show the fights on YouTube. I believe they stream them on YouTube. I believe it's free as far as I know. I'd have to check on that. So December 17th, if you're sitting around on YouTube or you know, have time to watch the show, it's going to be violent, man. They were telling me that very few of their fights make it past the first round because that triangular ring inspires, you know, violence and a lot of action. So
I'm looking forward to this. December, what'd you say, 17th, was it?
17th,
okay.
Miami, the James L. Knight Center.
I am marking my calendar. Very excited to see this. If you're just jumping in, this is Big Mo. Big Mo's a big personality over here, ex-MMA. Now the guy's over at BYB doing his thing, bouncing around at some of these very interesting companies of organizations that are popping up. And I do like this triangle ring. I did notice that Fight TV. I saw Mike Perry's going to be fighting in a triangular ring. What am I saying? Triangle. I know there's a squared circle. What do you call this thing? Is there?
So BYB calls theirs the Trigon.
The Trigon. Okay.
And I know that Triller is doing the same thing, and they're calling it Triad Combat. I know Triller has Frank Mir fighting Kubrat Puvlev in the main event. Mike Perry's on that card. So yeah, I mean, you have a lot of these organizations out here that are trying something new. They're trying to be innovative, trying to be different, and you know, I like it. I think it's good for the market. So
I don't hate it. I really don't. Usually, I find things wrong with everything. In this situation, I don't hate it. Bare knuckle BKFC did that small little ring. And, you know, fighters had limited space to move around, but you could still circle around. You still get around there. Even in the octagon, you could still circle around. Here, you're running into a rope, so there really is no place to hide. I'm actually looking forward to this. Who's the?
Yeah, no, I was talking to the production staff, and they were basically explaining to me that some of the fights go pretty quick because there ain't much room to go. There really is nowhere you can, you know, run around to. So it's going to be violent, man. It's probably going to be one of the more violent shows that you can watch. So
it is wild what they're doing in the bare knuckle world, and I'm happy to see that there's competition, because with competition, that's just more content for us to enjoy, and everyone's trying to one up each other. The production's getting better and better. They're getting talent like you over there I mean, you're a hot commodity right now. Wait, like, is your phone ringing off the hook?
got a lot of things I'm working on. I'm not allowed to announce the other one, but there's a big. I'm going to be working with a big show. Going to be hosting a big show as more of a combo host / announcer. But I can't announce that probably for, I don't know, probably a few more weeks, maybe a couple months. But that's going to be starting off in 2022. So, it just comes down to that. I've been working hard to carve my own little path in the industry, and I've been doing things that are unique, and I'm glad that brands are starting to appreciate what I bring to the party. So,
and I'm glad too. It's about freaking time that they have a Big Mo in this world, screaming and yelling people's names and announcing and hosting. I'm loving it. So when we spoke on the Instagram Live, was this on set to this new thing that you're doing, or is this something else?
No, that was more for just a little bit of content that I was doing with a betting company. But no, that stuff won't start filming until March is when we're gonna start. I'd love to come onto the show once I'm able to talk about it again, and I'd love to talk to all the MMA-Holes about it. But what I can tell you is this: it is going to be the best promotion in a market that I think needs it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I'll kind of give some hints, but obviously different sports are popping up in the martial arts realm, and the one that this is going to be a part of, this show is really going to add some flair and excitement to it that typically this sport is a little bit boring. So I'm excited to be a part of this show, what they're trying to do with this. The team that they've put together for this it's pretty exciting, man. Pretty exciting.
Is it like a reality show we're talking about here?
No, but it's going to be a tournament style show. So the shows will shoot for a few days and will culminate in a final event. And it'll be, I think they're going to looking to do 6 or 7 shows in the first year and go from there.
Wow, that's awesome. We're live with Big Mo. He's got big things coming up, and I'm very excited about this. What do you think about, like, I'm noticing Bruce Buffer now, who is announcing for football games. The guy he has a hit song out there as well. Do you think that you're going to be going that route too? You're going to be doing some songs, collaborating with DJs, football stadiums. What do you think?
Well, it's so interesting that all that stuff is happening, because when I started this, and I know I've talked about this on the show, but I want to bring ring announcing to different industries. My goal with combat sports is to take it and go to different industries with it and different markets with it. And ring announcing is such an exciting, visceral part of it that I think that's what translates really well. So it's interesting now that I'm seeing Bruce Buffer announce for football games, music, all that kind of stuff, because I kind of had those ideas penned in my mind when I started all this. I want to announce for musical acts and different shows and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's definitely the trajectory that I want. I mean, how I look at it is when Bruce Buffer started announcing, he was 39 years old. So I have a little bit of a head start on when he got started. And I have tools like social media at my disposal, which are a massive asset to me. So, yeah, I just got to keep pushing, got to keep going. I think I'm on a good trajectory, but I can't stop. So,
what is the weirdest thing? I know we've dabbled into this before, but what was the weirdest request that someone's had you do? If I'm not mistaken, you said someone wanted something, sexy time talk or something like that. What is the weirdest thing that you had to announce or pitch to announce?
Someone wanted a recording intro and like an audio file. For when he's ready to how do I phrase this politically correct?
Climax?
No, do certain things for his significant other.
How did this get pitched? Is this a friend that did ask this, or it's wow?
Random comment on one of my pictures, man. I don't remember which picture it was or which post, but he was like, "Hey, Big Mo, can you do XYZ?" And I didn't really know how to respond, so that's probably the weirdest request that I've gotten.
Are you afraid, like, God forbid, like, listen, everyone's got to make some money, right? Everyone's got to start somewhere. Are you afraid that you're going to make the wrong move? I mean, you're still a pretty young guy, right? Like, are you afraid you're going to say yes to the wrong thing, or you're pretty open with your content?
I mean, I'm open with it, but within reason. Look, I understand that I can't say yes to everything. Some requests that I've gotten are a little out there, not necessarily within my brand per se. So I, for the most part, I'm very open to anything, but at the same time, I like to be careful with kind of the different markets and industries that I navigate into. So.
And now your friends, like say if you're going out with your buddies or something like that, do they get drunk and be like, all right, Big Mo, can you announce this? Do they get you to announce like random things while you guys are hanging out?
Yes, that is 100% a common thing. It's a conversation starter. I mean, look, when I talk to people when I'm out, whether it's meeting friends, whether it's, introducing myself to a woman, whatever it may be, they'll always ask, so what do you do? And I'll tell them, and they'll go, what do you mean? And then I'll just kind of demonstrate for them what I mean. And so it's always a hit. It's always an icebreaker. So it's fun. There's, like I've talked about before, ring announcing is probably the most niche job industry in the world that I can think of. So it's not a lot of people ever meet a ring announcer. So
have you ever say, I don't know if you're spoken for yet, but every time we've spoken to you, you're just pretty much focusing on work. But have you ever gone on a date, like whether it's a blind date or whatever, you're out to dinner and you're explaining what you do for a living, like, oh, can I hear something? Do you just start belting it out?
So occasionally, if we're at a louder bar, I'll do it, and it's always kind of funny. If I'm on more of a formal date, I'll more so show them, I'll show them clips and stuff like that. So no, it's fun, man. Like I said, it's unique. I've always enjoyed being unique. I've always enjoyed standing out and being a little bit different. So, just being a ring announcer is just one more thing to add to that list of ways that I could be different and be unique. So
it would be funny if you went on a date with a blind date or something like that, right? You go out to dinner and you're like, I'm a bus driver, right? And then, as the waiter comes over and it's time to order, you're like, I got you. I'll order for you. And then you just belt out the order as Big Mo. You're just like, she'll have the calamari. Like if you did something like that, would that be something you may do in the future?
Believe it or not, I'm not that cringe. I don't like to completely go off the deep end with it. But it's funny because how I describe what I do when people ask is I say I'm an entertainer. I mean, yes, I ring announce, but I've also hosted concerts. I've done commercials. I've done a couple little sizzle reels as an actor and stuff like that. So I just call myself an entertainer. But when people ask, what do you mean by entertainer? They always assume stripper or exotic dancer. And so then I have to explain to them, no, I'm a ring announcer and I do X, Y, Z. So it's always an interesting conversation.
Do you have so in your apartment, do you have equipment? If you were to pre-record something, do you have a little studio setup or a mini spot?
Oh, yeah.
So if people, okay, yeah, that's right. So I've seen that before. Yeah. It looks like you have a big Minecraft creature behind you over there.
Or always is that like a samurai armor or something?
So if someone comes over to do some work on the house or whatever, right? Do you're like, oh, I got to freaking explain this again? Like, does that come up?
I mean, not really. People can kind of tell what it is when you have a microphone and then soundproof padding put up, because I've done voiceover work beyond just for fighting and ring announcing. So, but yeah, it's always a conversation. It's always, whatever. Once people know who I am, they kind of know what I do. But yeah, when I meet someone new and they ask what I do, it's always a conversation. So.
It's a problem with us because when we have anyone come over here to just do whatever work, fix the air conditioning, whatever, I'm always dreading it. I'm sweating because I know in our main bedroom, we put our studio, right? We work from home over here. So when you come into the main bedroom, you see this wall with green screen, the lights all over the freaking computers. Hey, what do you do? They think we shoot porn or something like that. I never want, I just want to keep them away from that room. I feel like I'm Batman. I just don't want them to know what I do for a living. I'm proud of what I do, but do people say, do you actually make money from that? Do people not understand your line of work?
Well, no, so how the conversations usually go is I say I'm a ring announcer and then they always think I'm a commentator. Mm-hmm. So then I'll kind of have to explain to them, no, I'm not a commentator, XYZ, here's what I do. So yeah, I mean, if they have more questions, it usually extends into a bit of a longer conversation that needs some explanation because how I describe it is I go, have you ever heard Let's Get Ready to Rumble? And then they'll say yes. And I go, that's what I do. I don't say that exactly, obviously, because Michael Buffer owns that, but I say something similar. And so then they go, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Now that makes sense.
Okay, well, there we go. Cody Momarts, Big Mo, live with the MMA-Holes, and we had a UFC event that happened on Saturday night. Did you get a chance to catch Holloway versus Rodriguez?
I was able to watch some highlights. I wasn't able to watch it live, but I mean, Max is Max, man. He's a legend in the sport. UFC's been on fire recently. The Kamaru Usman card was quite possibly the best card I've ever watched. I was on the edge of my seat damn near the whole show. You had fights in there like Gaethje Chandler where I like them both, and I wanted them both to win, but obviously there had to be a winner and a loser, and that might go down as my favorite fight I've ever watched in history. And then you had Kamaru Usman versus Colby, which is a 5-round war. And so, I mean, the UFC has just been pumping out card after card after card, which, again, like I said before, I'm a fan above anything else. So I'm excited. It's a good time to be a combat sports fan, man. And you got bare knuckle stuff rolling, you got UFC rolling, you got boxing having some good stuff recently, and it's just good. We were on a hiatus so long because of COVID, but now, hey Jesse, how are you?
She's creeping in. So let's piggyback off of that then. The Usman, I don't think we had a chance to talk to you about Usman and Covington. So Kamaru Usman, it looks like that they're going to target Leon Edwards again, maybe beginning of next year, or I don't know, the first couple of, I don't know, February or March, I'm not sure when. But they're looking to do that fight. It seems like that's the fair one to do with Jorge Masvidal falling out. But what do you think about Kamaru Usman? We've spoken to a couple of fighters since, and everyone is saying pretty much the same thing. How Usman is progressing as a champion, and he's tightening up his skill set, and it seems like he's so far ahead of the game. Besides the Colby Covington fans, which have been nauseating the fuck out of me because he got a takedown. I get DMs from people constantly about Colby Covington. It's like, bro, he lost. Let's move on. But Usman here, what do you think about this guy? Do you think this Edwards fight's going to be competitive? Is it going to be a little bit of the same as the first?
So first, with Covington, respect the hell out of Colby. That guy will forever go down, in my opinion, as the number one guy that gave Usman fits. He did.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Usman's fights, Colby fought him tougher and harder than anyone else. You can never take that away from Colby. But he did lose twice. So, and if you want to argue that he got a takedown, if that's what you want to take away, that he's 1 for 11, awesome. do your thing. But he's lost both times. Respect to Colby. He put up a hell of a fight both times. He's the only one, in my opinion, that's actually put some pressure on Usman and actually, gave him a little bit of a run for his money. But look, Usman is the pound-for-pound number one. I've become more familiar with Kamaru because he actually moved to Denver to train. He trains with Trevor Whitman, and that frickin' machine that Trevor Whitman is putting out, man, that's a conversation in and of itself, what he's doing. But look, Kamaru is progressing so quickly. His cardio is fantastic. He's an overall great athlete. His striking has improved. His jab has improved. Obviously, he's a fantastic wrestler. So at this point, he's kind of in a weird spot. He's kind of in that Khabib spot of, okay, who does he face? And Leon 100% is the right person that he should face. I thought that the Leon Masvidal fight didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Leon is by far and away the number one contender. He should be the one fighting Usman. I think that now the welterweight division opens up a little bit. And at this point, I think after Leon, the only other fight that starts to make sense would be versus Israel Adesanya. I don't think they're going to fight. So Kamaru's in a tough spot, man. I mean, I know you have Khamzat coming up, and that's going to be interesting. I really want to see Khamzat face I want to see Khamzat probably get 2 more wins. I think is fair before he gets the title shot. Maybe 1 if he really handles somebody. I wish that the Khamzat Gilbert Burns fight happened. So the welterweight division is kind of up in the air right now, as are a lot of divisions in the UFC. I mean, Peter Yan beat Corey Sandhagen. Piotr's probably got to face Aljamain Sterling now with that whole debacle. I don't see Israel getting beat anytime soon. It's kind of just a weird time for the UFC, I guess.
They got some very lopsided situations. It's kind of wild, man, how people are just lapping the divisions over and over again. Bantamweight's kind of fascinating because of that whole circus with Aljo. But I think once that gets cleared up, once the smoke settles, Petr Yan's going to be on top. I mean, the guy is legit a machine. It's incredible how good that guy is. And I got to be honest, when I first started watching the UFC, flyweights, bantamweights, I was like, it's cool. But I don't know. I was like, I wasn't into it. Now, It's a whole different ballgame. Bantamweight's one of the best divisions out there. These guys are all killers here in bantamweight.
Well, what's weird, what's weird with the divisions is that you have the clear number one, but then you have the guy that's like just a half step behind. Colby went 5 rounds with Kamaru. Corey Sandhagen went five rounds with Petr Yan. And so you have these guys that were, if you just eliminated one guy, the entire division would open up. And you're seeing that with the lightweight division now. Khabib left. The entire division is wide open. You could make a case for any of them, in my opinion, to get a title shot. Michael Chandler went all rounds with – Michael Chandler almost was a different referee away from being the lightweight champion. Then he went to war with Justin Gaethje. Now Justin Gaethje, I think, deserves the winner of Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. So this division's wide open. Then you got Islam Makhachev right there. So the lightweight division is open, but it took the clear favorite, the clear number one, going away. And you still have people like Conor in there. I don't know what he's going to do next. That's a debacle in and of itself. So in a lot of these divisions, you remove one guy and the entire division is open. So I don't know.
It's wild. Yeah, it's so true. When Mighty Mouse was on top, Henry Cejudo won. I thought Mighty Mouse won that close decision, and then Mighty Mouse was like, you know what, I had enough. I'm going to go play somewhere else. But when he was on top, there was no one even close to Mighty Mouse. John Jones is another one. Even though his last 2 fights weren't his best fights, still was constantly winning. It seemed like no one was going to bump this guy out of the way. And once it leaves, that's it. It feels like a merry-go-round of people holding on to that belt, and it makes it interesting. It really does.
Yeah. No, it's a good time. And, what's exciting about how the UFC has built this last year is that it sets up for an incredibly interesting 2022. You have fights like Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane for the heavyweight belt that, shoot, man, that's going to be a hell of a fight. I have no idea what's going to happen in that one. Jan just lost. I'm kind of confused why they're not looking at the rematch versus Glover. I just have no idea what direction the UFC is going to go with any of this.
It's funny, 2022 has been such a good year. Like these 2 years, 2021, and 2020, the pandemic years have been some of the best UFC fights I've ever seen. Like it's nuts what they've been pumping out with this whole COVID thing going on. It's really crazy. And speaking of COVID, have you been able to avoid the plague and navigate around safely?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I'm vaccinated. I know a lot of people have different opinions on the vaccine. It's no real difference to me. But no, I've been able to navigate around it well, and the promotions that I've been able to work with have done a lot of good things to go in the right direction of taking precautions to make sure shows don't get canceled. So no, I think that at this point I think that we're more out of COVID than we are in it. Obviously, I think it's going to stay for a while. But again, and we've talked about this before, and I understand that Dana has caught a lot of heat because people always want to compare boxing and UFC and all that kind of stuff. And for those of you that haven't watched it, I'd recommend that you go watch Dana's explanation where he breaks down and he talks about his beef with Oscar De La Hoya and stuff like that. But he has a good way of explaining the key difference between boxing and the UFC. First and foremost, the UFC is not a promotion. The UFC is a company.
Yep.
With that comes, I don't know how many employees they have. I don't know how many gyms they have, how many locations they have, how many offices they have, how many, whatever they have to do. But it's very different. A boxing promotion, when you look at a boxing fight, is you have the main event, and then you kind of just have everything else. And they try to pump as much money into it, raise as much money as they can, sell as many tickets as they can, and then the money's as soon as it comes in, it's out the door. That's why boxers make a lot more money, is because there's no infrastructure necessarily that has to be maintained as the business progresses. With the UFC, when you look at it, take the Kamaru Usman card. You could make the case that any of those top 3 fights could have been the main event.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of if it was a standalone fight on its own card, all 3 of them easily could have been the main event. Gaethje Chandler, I think, could have been at least a main event for a fight night. Rose versus Weili easily could have been a pay-per-view main event. And obviously, Usman versus Colby was a main event. So when you have that, you have card after card after card after card that are stacked. What that does is that creates a well-oiled machine company to where you have every single division in the UFC is exciting because every single division in the UFC is busy. Every single division in the UFC has something going on. No takeaway from boxing. Again, we've talked about this before. I love boxing. I love UFC. I love them both equally. But when you look at the differences between how the businesses are run, you can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, that was the big heavyweight fight. That was one fight in a year versus certain divisions in the UFC where you have had, I don't know what, 5 title fights in the same year. I mean, it's very different. So what that creates is a much busier and a much more active organization company like the UFC is.
Yeah, with boxing, it's so spread out with all the different belts and the undercards. I couldn't care less. I mean, I don't know who the hell's fighting on these undercards. That's why I kind of like bare knuckle, is because even if you don't know these guys, you know someone's getting flatlined. Like, you know, like someone's going down. Like, and Jesse's here. Welcome, Jesse, to the show. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thanks.
Did you see, Jesse, this triangular shaped situation? That
I didn't see it. No, I heard about it. I did hear about it, but I have not had the chance to see it yet.
The company's
December
called
17th, you can.
What's that?
December 17th, you can,
I
in
know,
action.
well, oh, yes. Well, we're going to, right? We have to.
Well, we check it out. But it's called BYB, this company, and they're a bare knuckle boxing organization. Paulie Malignaggi's there. By the way, I met Paulie Malignaggi, sweetheart of a guy, but he doesn't shut the fuck up. Like, this guy, like,
Well,
I mean,
he's a little bit of a baby. Let's be real. He's like a little bit of a little puss, but whatever, you know.
I thought
It is
I was
what it
listening
is.
back to their last event, and I'm like, I get chills with Goldberg. I don't care how even if he messes up a call or whatever like that, I don't give a shit. He's still Mike Goldberg to me. But it was funny when he threw it to Paulie. It was like he threw him the ball and Paulie just kept on dribbling in. It's like, all right, you could pass it back now.
It's like he's on Adderall 24/7.
No,
Hey,
this
man, I've never had the chance to work with Paulie. This will be my first time, but I have a lot of mutual friends with Paulie. And I love his work, and I love the dynamic that he adds. I think he's Sicilian Italian, you know, they don't stop talking, but it's fun, you know, and it adds. I would rather have someone like that than someone that's just incredibly dull on the mic. And I like Paulie's analysis really, really well. I've seen a lot of the work that he's done with various boxing organizations, so I'm excited to hear his commentary. But yeah, no, and Goldberg is Goldberg, man. He's one of my favorites as well. When I started watching the UFC, it was Mike Goldberg and it was Joe Rogan. That's who I, grew up on as a fan of the UFC. So, like I said, they're legends in their own respect. And you have people like Benny Ricardo too, who's done a lot of stuff with Showtime. Same with Al Bernstein. So, it's gonna be great. And I think that this is probably going to be the most complete staff that I've worked with. From production all the way down to the broadcast, all the way down to the analysis, all the way down to the ring announcer. Obviously, I'm going to do my thing. So the staff that they've put together is really comprehensive, and it's really well done. Even down to the matchmaker, Mel Valenzuela. I think it's all going to piece together really, really well.
And it's BYB, December 17th. We'll find out all the details and send it to the MMA Holes so they can check it out for themselves. The tickets over there is bybtickets.com. You can check it out on BYB Extreme at Instagram over there, and you can get all the information. It really does look like a fun time, and we're cracking jokes about Paulie, but Paulie is a very knowledgeable guy. There's no doubt about that. The guy's a very intelligent guy.
But he's a little baby, but
What do you mean a little baby? What is that supposed to mean?
like a little crybaby.
He was just trying to fight Conor.
Kinda.
She's talking about the Conor thing, right? He wanted to fight Conor bad.
Yeah, I mean, you can only take what you see. But
When you see Paulie, say, "Hey, what happened when you guys were sparring
did he
together?"
really knock you down, or
We want to know the real story.
What happened?
I mean, shoot, man. I remember. So I became friends with one of Paulie's friends, who cornered Paulie for BKFC. He is good friends with Paulie, and so I've heard everything with that story.
I know this guy too. Is this shit, what's his name? Fuck. I know who you're talking about. We had him on the show years ago.
Tom Egan?
No, the guy, he was from Ireland. And
Adam.
Yes. Adam, what the hell's his last name?
Adam Byrne.
Yes, you know Adam Byrne.
Oh, yes.
That dude knows everybody. How does he know everybody?
Adam
he
is
gets
really
around.
well connected with that scene, and I become friends with Adam, and what it comes down to, man, is I don't pick sides in these sports. I have no idea what happened. The only person that knows who's happened there are the people that are there, and there's apparently footage that's out there. I have no idea. At this point, I don't really care. Yeah. If the fight was going to happen, I think it would have happened by now. Who knows? But I don't pick sides, man. I've been in the middle of beefs, and I've had, fighters that want to loop me in on beefs because for some reason, since I was the announcer for a fight, then somehow I'm involved in the beef, which I'm not. So it's I don't know, man.
You should start beef with other announcers, though.
Yeah,
I think
we could set some real fun
you're
stuff up with you,
6'7"
Big
for
Mo.
God's sake. 6'7". No one's gonna fuck with you. You just be like, start shoving in other announcers. Like walk by and be like, what you gonna do, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm obviously like I've talked about before. I've researched the announcer landscape a lot, and it's a really, really interesting group of people. You have some people that I think are really, really cool, and you have some people that I think are, I kind of look at them a little sideways just with the way they act and the way they talk. But as a whole, man, I stick to myself. I've been able to become friends with a couple other announcers and connect with a couple, and who knows?
Most announcers are pretty nice. There is one guy on my mind that I do find a little smug, and actually the UFC gave him the call not too long ago. He was always nice to us, but he was a little pompous, a little bit of a pompous asshole, this guy. You probably know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to throw him under the bus, Mo, because, listen.
Announcer?
Yeah, he's an announcer.
Oh!
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. Yeah, you brought him up like I think
yeah, I'm like,
2
this
weeks
guy's
ago.
a little sneaky guy. Anyway, when Bruce Buffer had the COVID, why didn't they pull Big Mo in there? Why they got this Joe Martinez fella? Why don't they just put Big Mo in there, right?
I asked myself that question. I don't know. I mean, look, I got a ton of DMs when that happened. I mean, when it's interesting, like, again, it's Bruce, if you're watching this, I have no issues with you. For some reason, my followers somehow have deemed me, your replacement. I have no interest in replacing Bruce Buffer. I don't want to be the next Bruce Buffer. I want to be myself. So, when Bruce Buffer got COVID and I saw all that stuff, my social media got really, really active and whatnot. But look, I think Joe does a great job. I think that Joe has his own style to which he announces, and some people like it and some people don't. I personally like Joe Martinez a lot. I've never got the chance to meet him. So, look, again, it's how I look at it is I'm 26. I am progressing, and this is a fact. I'm progressing faster than any other announcer that I can see in the landscape. Perhaps there's announcers out there that are doing what I'm doing, but I'm younger. I have my own flair. I do things a little bit differently. I'm just more aggressive with how I do things, and I grow pretty quickly. And so I'm confident that my opportunity will come. Again, whether it's with the UFC or with another organization, I have no idea. But I want to announce on the biggest stage of them all. I want to entertain as many fans as possible. So regardless of who that comes with, regardless if it's MMA, regardless if it's boxing, regardless if it's bare knuckle, I have no idea. But all I can do is kind of focus on myself and I've said it before, but run my own race, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I don't really – I mean, I always get asked, like, what other announcers do you look out for or watch? And the answer is not really any of them. I mean, I watch the Buffers. I watch Bruce and Michael because they are the people that, they control the vast majority of the market. They are the most notable. They have the biggest following. So, yeah, those are the two that I'm going to watch because those are the two that I want to be bigger than. So.
Absolutely. That's the way to, I mean, that's the best way to think about anything. You always go after the top guys. You don't, these guys that think they're on the same level as you, you just look right past those guys. You gun for the top, and that's it. The beauty right now, all these organizations popping up, you could be the next face of that next big thing, which is wild. I look at BKFC. I don't know that announcer's name. I can't remember his name, but it seems like they've latched into this guy. And he's going to be their guy. He's got the bedazzled shit going on now.
Well, in fairness, I do think that he's kind of copying Bruce Buffer a little bit with the crazy outfit thing.
Do you know
I don't know his name either. But like the whole outfit thing, that was Bruce's gig. That was like he always had like the cool tux going on every pay-per-view. Like there was always like it was like what's Bruce going to wear tonight? And this guy, nothing against him, whatever works for you. But I do feel that the whole bow tie thing that he's trying to do and all that, I think he's kind of like taking a little sliver off of Bruce's cake. I gotta be honest.
think that, it's interesting you brought that up, Jesse, because the visual component of an announcer is massively important. I think and a lot of people don't recognize it. So it's astute that you brought that up because, and again, I'm trying to figure out my own style right now because I was a little over the top in the beginning too, and I think at some point you look a little you look a little clownish. And I'm not talking about anyone specific. I'm talking more about myself more than anything else, because I wore some things in the beginning. I mean, you can go back in my Instagram. I wore leopard print jackets in the beginning and stuff like that. And what I found is that you want to stand out and you want to look good, but you don't want it to detract from your announcing. So as I've taken my style, and I want to have my own unique style, I'm trying to work on getting working with a couple clothing brands coming up soon and stuff like that. So that might manifest here soon. But ultimately what it comes down to, and obviously I wear the sunglasses, and again, I'm not necessarily glued to the sunglasses. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. But Bruce has his own style. Bruce primarily wears, and I'm a fashion nut. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on this show. I love fashion. I used to be so much heavier, so I didn't really get to wear much because I was kind of fat, and I didn't look good in a lot of clothes. Now that I'm in better shape and stuff like that, I can wear slim fit clothes and get a little bit more creative with it all. I'm very, very much into fashion. So and again, this hits itself, and this is connected to how just invested I have been in the research of the industry. I kind of know what everyone's style is, oddly enough. I know that Bruce Buffer primarily wears silk jacquard blazers. I know that his sponsor is My King and Bay. I know that Michael Buffer primarily wears tuxedos, either a black or white jacket. I know that the announcer for BKFC primarily wears metal bow ties and likes to wear a lot of glitter. The glitter's his own thing. I have no idea. But a lot of announcers, and I think that this is what a lot of announcers don't necessarily focus on, is a lot of announcers, I don't think they pay enough attention to what they're wearing. Get a tailor. Get stuff fitted. I promise you, clothes do not fit you off the rack, especially not a suit. A lot of people don't understand that men's clothing, when it's manufactured primarily as suits, is they're stitched boxy. You should never wear a suit off the rack. Always take it to a tailor. There's always things that you can have done, whether it's the sleeves extended, whether it's the legs tapered, whether it's the shawl and the collar dropped down so it fits your shoulders better. Again, I've talked about before, I'm psychotic with this. I know what other announcers wear. I know what their catchphrases are. I know what their growth is on social media. I know who they've announced for. I know that if they can speak in Spanish. I know that if they mess up name pronunciations. So what it comes down to is that once you know the landscape of the market and the industry, you can start to craft your own lane with it. So
this is interesting. You're starting to sound like
very fascinating. I gotta be honest.
You ever see the movie American Psycho? Like you sound like the Christian Bale character. I feel like you're gonna start chopping some people up.
I was gonna say, you know what I think of? Like when I think Big Mo, I think the shades and a white suit for some reason. Like I know you've worn other colors before and everything, but for some reason the white suit always comes to mind. Every time someone mentions your name, every time someone might tag us in something with you or anything like that, I always think shades and white suit. I don't know why, but that's like the one. And I know you wore it at one event, but that's the one style that comes to mind every single time.
There was a graphic though, right? Wasn't there a graphic that had him with the white suit? Is that why?
I don't know. I don't know the reason why. It's just that's the style that always comes to mind every time.
The reason why that is I can tell you exactly why, is that the biggest fight on a global scale I ever announced was the Dave LeDuc Lethwei World Championship fight. I wore white for that. So that was a massive fight, and I wore white for the most recent XMMA fight. I wore white in the poster that was made. Yeah. So that's how I know. And again, I remember. I'll show you. I'll do a closet tour for you guys one day. But it's one of those things as to where I know what I've worn. I know I don't want to ever duplicate outfits. If I do duplicate an outfit, I don't want to have to have worn it for a long time. I used to wear crazy sunglasses. I've toned that down a little bit. Who knows if I'll stick with the sunglasses? I have no idea. But I'm trying to craft my own style. I have a couple things that I'm working on. I'm looking for a couple clothing sponsors that I can start working with that can kind of, help me in what I kind of envisioned. But, what it comes down to is that when you're an announcer, I think that you want to have a balance between both a flair visually and also a flair with how you announce. I think that the announcers that struggle are the ones that don't have flair in either. Yeah. And so that's how so often announcers are kind of forgotten with everything. Let
me ask you a question real quick. I know you say that you don't want to duplicate styles, right? But
I try to avoid it.
What if if that's what they think, right? They think shades and white suit. Now, I'm not saying everybody does. It's probably just me. But let's say everybody does, just hypothetically, right?
Yep.
If everybody thinks that when they hear your name or when they see your name, would you capitalize on that and be like, okay, well, let's do the shades and white suit every time now, because that's how they're going to know who I am. They see shades and white suit, they're going to know it's Big Mo.
So Jesse, you just completely explained what I tried to do early on in my career. i.e. have as many things as possible that someone could remember me for.
Right.
So, Jesse, you remember me for white suit shades.
Right.
Someone that saw me at XMA in South Carolina, XMA 2, might remember me for the royal blue suit with the black trim with the shades.
Yeah.
Someone else that might have seen me for my Army versus Marine show that I did for Sparta might remember me for the double-breasted pinstripes that I wore. So regardless of what you remember me for, I don't really care what you remember me for.
Right.
Just as long as you remember me.
Right.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it, I guess. I'm like the kind of person who's like, well, if they remember that, make sure we do that again.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as they're talking about you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you want.
Exactly.
And I got to say, like, now that you're doing bare knuckle here, BYB, now you're doing this. I think we should start a war. Okay? I think we should lead this war here. The guy's name is Jeff Houston. Let's put a hit on this guy, okay? All right?
I've never met Jeff.
This is the man, all right? This is public enemy number 1 right here, okay? Bare knuckle.
Not my words. Jeff. Never met you before.
He's trying to start shit where there ain't none.
It is on the MMA-Holes declare war, and we are going to back Big Mo, and we're going to take him to the top of the bare knuckle world here. This Jeff Houston clown. And when I say clown, Big Mo, look at how he's walking around like he needs some funny shoes, for God's sakes. Put a red nose on this man. Big Mo is the guy for bare knuckle. Big Mo is going to show you December 17th what's going down. So get the hell out of the way, Jeff Houston, and make room for Big Fook and Mo. Let's go. Are you with me, chat?
Look, as always, I appreciate the support of the MMA-Holes, and I will always, you guys are ride or dies from my life, so I appreciate that. Jeff, never met you before. Best of luck to you. I have no idea. But no, it's, and again, though, you guys have talked about it a lot, and it's about differentiating yourself. It's about standing out. It's about being unique, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job with that, and I think I'm getting to the point where, and you made a great point, Moss, is that every announcer has their guy. And it's interesting that you said that, because that's the first thing I hear whenever I talk to a new organization. Whenever I talk to a new organization and I talk about who I am, and they say, well, we have our guy. Yeah, every organization that I've ever worked for had their guy. BYB had their guy. XMA had their guy. Sparta had their guy. Airtight Boxing had their guy. They all had their guy. But the reality is that when you break it down, and this is what I ask them, I go, okay, what if I'm better? And they say, okay, well, what does better mean? Isn't that subjective? And I go, no, I'm not necessarily talking about my announcing, but what if I help you more with ticket sales? What if I help you more with pay-per-view buys? What if I help you more on social media? What if I help you more with keeping the fans entertained? What if the fans like me more? Would that change the conversation? Because now the conversation is, do I sound better, or do I have a better voice? That's not what I'm talking about. That's one component. Having a good voice, yeah, that's kind of the baseline requirement of being an announcer. I'm hoping that if you're a ring announcer, you have a good voice. Mm-hmm. But what do you do beyond that? When you look at Bruce Buffer, he's become a massive asset for the UFC because what he does extends past just reading someone's name on a card. So every organization has their guy. I love it when they tell me that. Yeah, you have your own guy. Sure.
So you've had situations where you'll go to a company and they'll say, hey, this is our guy already, and then you'll pitch why you may be a better fit. This has actually happened?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I'm never afraid to talk to anyone. I sat outside the UFC headquarters for 2 hours waiting for a meeting after 6 months of announcing. I still have the video on my phone.
Wow.
I can't wait till I can show that one day. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to be told no by people. I'm not afraid to shoot my shot with people. The worst that someone can say to me is no. And the reality is, when I pick up the phone, a lot of them always think, oh, this is just some kid. He's so young. Yeah, 100%.
I like you even more, Big Mo. I like you even more now because you're the guy that goes up to the girl. They're like, I have a boyfriend. And you'd be like, so what does that have to do with me? You know, you're that guy. You're that guy that doesn't care that someone is at home waiting for them. You're there saying, no. There's a better thing. It's called Big Mo. That's what you are, Big Mo, and I like that. That's initiative right there. What? Is that wrong?
Well, look,
I think it's a little wrong.
Whether it's with trying to talk to a girl or someone that you're crushing on or anything like that, whether it's that or whether it's you're interested in a job or you want to start a business, I mean, shit, the worst that someone can say is no.
So true.
I mean,
right. Next thing you know, you're in bed.
You guys have done plenty of interviews with people, and I'm sure you've hit up plenty of fighters and plenty of personalities in the industry, and I'm sure a lot of them have said no to you. Okay, so what?
Nobody says no to the MMA holes.
Yeah, they just don't answer. That's what they do. That's their way of saying no. But like, yeah, we're gonna leave you unseen. That's what we're gonna do. But it is true though. I like that way of thinking. It's a great way to think, because honestly, if you want to make it, you can't just stay idle. You have to fucking put your foot on the gas pedal and go forward and go to the top. Drive up that mountain. Stick your flag in the top of the hill and go, I'm gonna take your fucking girlfriend.
Yeah, no, and it's, I mean, again, I can't think of too many organizations that I haven't reached out to, whether it's emails, whether it's DMs, whether it's phone calls. I've befriended more secretaries of front desks trying to talk to the decision maker than anyone else that you've ever met before in your life, because I'm not. The worst that someone can say to me is, no, we have a guy, we like what you do, or they can even say, no, we hate you, we hate your stuff. Okay, click, what's the next person I can call? Who's the next company I can call? But that's the only way to get anywhere. That's the only way to get your name out there, is to shoot your shot, take a chance. Who knows what will happen?
Let me ask you a question. If someone says no to you, say you had pitched yourself to someone and the company says no to you, is that it? You're just like, oh, they said no, and you move on? Or do you push and you're like, no, I don't think you understand, and then you push again until you get another no?
So what I do is I say, okay, well, basically how it works is, and it's, every conversation is a little bit different when I talk to different organizations, but I try to get an idea of what they're looking for from their announcer. And different organizations are looking for different things. Some people are looking for more flair. Some people are looking for more timid. Some people are looking for X, Y, Z. So I have a laundry list of points that every organization is looking for when it comes to an announcer, and every organization is different. Okay, so I go back to the drawing board and I say, okay, what am I doing and how could I change that could hit the points that they're looking for? And then once I hit those points, I send them an email. I go, hey, guess what? Like, for example, I'm not going to say the organization, but it's a pretty prominent organization. I remember I talked to them within 6 months of me announcing. At this point, I was pretty rough. I hadn't really found my voice yet, hadn't really found my niche yet, but I thought I was on to something.
Bellator.
This is probably about a year and a half ago. And so I talked to him, and he goes, look, I know what this was the decision maker of the company. It was pretty good sized organization. And he goes, look, I like what you're doing. I'm going to keep you on my radar screen. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay. Send him an email 8 months later. At this point, I'm working for 3 more companies than I was before. At this point, my social media following had grown probably 400% over that time period. So I just sent him an email. Goes, hey, I hope I'm still on your radar screen. Here's all the stuff that I'm working on. And I ended up talking to the guy. Because the reality is that when you are an individual, when you're a business, when you're an online YouTube show, if you're progressing and if you're growing, then what you can provide and what you can offer to an entity should grow and should get better as you progress forward. Your guys' channel, I'm sure now, is a lot more appealing to someone than it was, 5 years ago? How many more subscribers have you have now?
It's definitely more appealing than 5 years ago.
Oh, you mean during the Google Hangouts years?
Yeah, there was we had to pay people to watch us. We had to. The baby, it makes the baby cry. She can't stand thinking about the early days of the MMA-Holes. But no, it is very true. It really is true. And isn't it funny though when you look back, right, and you think about all those attempts and the people that said no, and now here you are, where companies are basically knocking down the door to get you inside their ring. That's got to be so rewarding, right?
Yeah, no, it's what it comes down to is it's incredibly rewarding and it's exciting, but it's progression. It's movement over time. You know, once you hit one goal, once you achieve one, it's on to the next one. Mm-hmm. You know, Tyson Fury talked about this. I remember he talked about this on Joe Rogan's podcast, but how Tyson Fury overcame his depression is he used incremental goal settings. So it's really easy to sit here and say, okay, my goal, let's say my goal is the UFC. Yeah, okay, that's great. You have that kind of goalpost. But the more important goals are, okay, how can I move the ball 10 yards at a time opposed to 100 yards at a time? Mm-hmm. So as I start to work with more and more organizations, it's more and more opportunities to get better. It's more and more opportunities to improve. It's more and more opportunities to grow my brand and to grow my following and all that kind of stuff. So it's progression. And you know, the people that I work with, I have a couple mentors that I work with and business partners that I work with that are kind of helping me in this, and, you know, managers and whatnot. And I drive them crazy because I'm always talking to them at every week, and I go, man, I feel like I didn't make any progress today. And they go, oh, I know it takes time, but you know how I was raised, and this might be because I was a former athlete, is I was taught by one of my coaches that every single day you either get better or you get worse, but you never stay the same. So every single day I'm saying, okay, what did I do to advance my ring announcing? Did I make a new connection? Did I send this email out? Did I get my reel out to this person? Did I impress someone with my announcing on this side? I have no idea. So
I tell you what, it's so funny. Every time I speak to you, all I can think about is Bruce Buffer. It's his mentality and his work ethic and everything. Like when he speaks about like when he first started, when he gives advice to other people, it feels very similar. It feels like you're on the young stages of the Bruce Buffer. But what's exciting about this is you're doing this in the social media era. You're doing this in the era of the internet with high speeds and the whole deal and a million different organizations. So I'm very excited to see what is in store for the future of the Big Mo. December 17th, by the way, BYB is going down. Big Mo will be in the triangular shaped ropes. Trigon. There we go. The Trigon. It's going to be wonderful, wonderful. We're limited on time, but I want to do one thing. We did it the last time, and we had you announce the craziest stuff in the world. I want to pluck from the chat one special thing that they can have you announce. What do you say? You game?
Let's do it. I'm coming off a little bit of a sickness. I got a sore throat about a week ago, so I'll see if I can let it rip for you guys, but let's see what the chat's got.
Okay, chat room, here we go. We have limited time because we have a Tyler Randall from BKFC coming on, and we need to get one announcement from Big Mo. We need to make it good, chat, okay? We need to make it good. So right now, if you could put in the chat what you would like Big Mo to announce, and let's see if I can pull something here. Let's see. Feel better soon. JBM loves pizza tits. You just have to speak well, okay? Introduce me, please. Oh, there's a person that actually wants to be introduced. Let's see. I want to find something good, though. Let's get ready to rumble Big Mo. I have him say big balls. That's not quite an announcement. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Someone says that midget Hasbulla is coming, G. Okay, you know Hasbulla, the little guy. He's like a phenom. This guy over here, he's hanging out with Habib, the whole deal. Can you announce the little but big personality of Hasbulla?
Yeah, let's pull up his details. We got 5 minutes. I want to make sure I do a good intro for him. He might like it.
Okay, so Hasbulla, we're gonna do a Hasbulla intro. I like that.
All right, I like that idea. Let's see what we got here. I want to see where he's from.
That guy's something else, man.
I love it.
He's like, they say he's 18 years old. He looks like a little kid, but he's 18 years old, and the guy's all over the place. He's a superstar.
All right, let's see. So, Hasbulla Magomedov. Is he from Russia? How tall is he? 3'2"? What is it?
We can make something up.
I know. I don't want to. Okay, so he's Russian. He's 18 years old, from Makach. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Okay. According to his interview by him, he is 3 feet tall. All right.
All right. I'm going to put it on you now. Here we go.
Lose my voice here, guys. Don't judge me. Judge me December 17th. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 3 feet tall, and he fights out of the nation of Russia. Introducing Hasbulla Magomedov.
Wow, look at that. We got a Hasbulla introduction. That's amazing.
Hasbulla, if you're watching this, if you DM me all your bio and information, I'll actually do a real full-fledged fight intro for you. I'll record it, put it on TikTok, social media. Hasbulla, hit me up. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on as always. I appreciate the support that you guys have given me. You guys believed in me when a lot of people wouldn't, and now I'm starting to rack up a lot more work, and I'm going to go straight to the top, man. And you know, Michael Chandler said it. I actually said the quote before. I was saying it before I ever knew who Michael Chandler was, but I'll see you at the top, and I'm going to keep working. Please make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, official.bigmo. Make sure you guys follow BYB on social media as well. It's going to be an awesome show. It's going to be a freaking violent show, man. A lot of blood, It's that's gonna be violent. I can't wait for it. If you click the link in my bio, I'm already starting to lose my voice. This sickness kicked my ass. But go to my merch store. I just launched a merchandise store. Look at that. We got Get Wild, Big Mo merchandise on TKO store. Not looking to make a ton of money for it. I'm not trying to break your guys' banks with it, but go check it out. Buy a shirt. Support me. Watch the show on December 17th. As always, tune into the MMA-Holes. I really hope you guys have me back, but at this point, guys, I'm going to keep doing what I want to do, which is entertain as many of you fight fans. Again, if you're not fans of me yet, I'm going to keep working to make you guys fans. I hope I'm entertaining you all as I continue with my career, and I will be the biggest announcer in the world. You mark my words. It's November 17th, I believe. Yeah, November 17th, if you're watching the show, I will be the biggest announcer in the world. I promise you all that. So
I believe it. We believe in Big Mo. We're big fans, and anytime you want to come back on the show, you're always welcome.
Thank you guys so much. Jesse, Moss, have a great night. Have a good night to the baby as well. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys again for having me.
All right, there he is, the Big Mo, live on the MMA-Holes. Big Mo, baby. Yes, go give him a follow. BYB is where it's at. BYB.
Gotta love the Mo.
I really enjoy having him on. I really do.
You know what I like about him? He's also a UFC fan, which makes it that much more entertaining to hear what he has to say, because he's genuinely like up to date with everything that, some interviews, they're not really all that up to date with the UFC, so it's hard to kind of like get that conversation going,
Yeah. Yeah, some people, it's like pulling teeth,
Yeah, but Big Mo, he's a fan of all of it, so you could literally ask him a question about anything and he has an answer for it.
I am interested in BYB. I am very, very interested. It's snowing.
Oh my goodness. It's officially the
Ellie, it's snowing. It's the holidays. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm a big Goldberg fan. In fact, I would geek out with Mike Goldberg. Like if I saw Mike, I don't get really starstruck, but if I saw Goldie, here we go. That's the man.
Yeah.
That's the fucking man, Goldberg. And he's the announcer of BYB with Paulie Malignaggi. So when we get more information on that, we will send it your way. Okay, I'm going to switch this here. I'm going to switch this and go like this. Okay, so now we're going to get Tyler Randall on the show. He fought at BKFC 20 shit. What?
20 shit?
20. What was the BKFC he fought on?
I don't quite know.
22, I think it was. Let's see. Hold on. A BKFC. Hey, baby. How you doing? Ellie was watching BKFC 22. Okay, and he was the first fight on the card, made his debut.
I don't quite know if it's professional, though, to keep her here during this interview.
That's okay. You could keep her here.
Well, what if she starts screaming? It's really,
Well, if he screams, then if she screams.
Are we doing the turkey twerk?
Hold on a second. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing on another guest over here. Oops, hold on a second. I'm calling Big Mo again. Sorry, Big Mo. Sorry about that. I was calling him back.
Guys, who wants to hear from Big Mo one more time?
I need a fucking producer. This is getting stupid.
Encore.
Man. This is getting dumb. All right. Let me call up Tyler Randall. And yes, we have a brand new donation.
Yeah.
And we made the price a little steep, because it's very embarrassing.
It is
to her.
Extremely embarrassing.
And I can't believe she did it. It's called the turkey twerk.
I actually don't want to be here when it happens, but I figured you should tell them about it just so they know.
Just for Thanksgiving, it's called the turkey twerk. There's a Streamlabs link down below. You could find it for yourself if you're feeling sassy and you want to donate for the holidays and really
Well, I won't be here.
Embarrass her.
I'll make sure I'm gone when it happens. And also, I want to give a personal apology to both parents on both sides. Please, just if you hear turkey twerk or if you see a turkey gif, just stop listening for like 2 seconds. That's all I ask.
No, you should listen to the very end. You trust me on this, okay?
Not your parents.
Yeah, you would love it. Okay, here we go. Let's get our guest in. Sorry about that. We're a little tardy to the show.
I'm going to take her to get some exercise real quick. She needs it.
Okay, here we go. Tyler Randall. Oh, we did it, baby. We fucking did it. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, last time I was in the sauna and my phone just kept overheating.
Well, there we go. Well, listen, Tyler, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming back on and taking some time out of your day. Could you put the phone sideways if that's possible?
I could.
There we go. Get the full screen over there. There we go. Tyler
Nice.
Rookie Randall. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. BKFC 22. Tell me, what do you got, the BKFC shirt on?
Oh, I got a hoodie on, yeah.
There we go. So BKFC 22. I want to learn about this experience. You made your debut. It was the first fight on the card. You looked great. You had a celebrity in your corner, for God's sakes. I mean, you had everything going for you. You had a nice walkout. You had Kendall all over you. We'll get to that later on. But tell me about this experience at Bare Knuckle.
Man, so I really had a little bit of a clue of what was going on, but I'm not a foundation of a striker. So like at first I was like, this is gonna be a weird experience. But going out, witnessing the press conference, talking with everyone, the whole fight week was amazing. The whole organization was dope. I got to meet everybody. It was really cool. All the fighters are, respectable. It was a good time. And then the weigh-ins, the way they did the weigh-ins, how professional it was, that was awesome. The way they treated us. And then fight night. Whew. I loved it. I loved every second. That's what was like, I enjoyed it more than probably any other fight that I've done. The experience, soaking it all in, the way the atmosphere was, the crowd. It was, dude, it's a great show. I loved it.
Their production is fantastic. I mean, they're just getting better and better, BKFC. It's unbelievable. So now, let me know the feelings here. So you were an amateur fighter. You went pro. It didn't work out your way. But then you go to Bare Knuckle and you looked fantastic. Now, you said you don't have you're predominantly, are you a grappler or what's your martial arts style?
So when I first started off as a kid, I was 12 years old. I started off doing like traditional Thai and jiu-jitsu, no-gi. And then I transitioned into wrestling, and I wrestled to the college level for a while. So my foundation, I'd like to believe, is like I'm predominantly mostly a grappler.
So now you're here, no gloves, and you're like, screw it. Were you just like, hey, man, this is kind of cool. I'm just going to give this a shot, or what were you thinking?
You know what? So I did the tryouts August 28th. I went with a couple of my buddies, and I wasn't even going to try out. I ended up, they said they were doing 125. So I was like, okay. So I signed up. I did the tryouts, and they happened to pick me. Next thing you know, I'm getting a fight for November. They send me one kid. The kid backs out of the fight like right before, so I get this opponent. So I'm like, yeah, I'll fight whoever. A face is a face. But I really kind of compared it to like when I was a kid and like I would ever get in fights like outside or in school or whatever. Just I wouldn't go to the ground. I would keep standing. So it was very similar, the concept of those blocks and defending yourself that way. It was almost like primal, like an adrenaline feeling when you're in there, but it's different. Like I can't explain it. It's just I enjoy it.
Wait, did you get into a lot of fights as a kid? You were getting in trouble a lot?
I would say I was getting in trouble a lot, but I got picked on a lot. I moved a lot. So about like every year and a half, 2 years, we moved to a new school or a new place, and I didn't reach 100 pounds till my freshman year.
Wow.
So I wasn't really a big kid, and then even my sophomore year, I was still probably like 110, if that. But then I started lifting that whole sophomore summer, and then I began wrestling my sophomore year too, and I quickly jumped to about 140.
So kids would look at you, they say, okay, he's a small kid in the schoolyard. They would try to bust your chops, the whole deal. And then the next thing you know, you're a fighter. You become a fighter, and now you're fucking kids up in the schoolyard. Is that what was going on?
It kind of started turning that way. Once I moved to this certain small town, I got in one fight with a certain kid, put him right out, boom, and then everyone left me alone after that, and I actually stayed at that town until I went to high school, so that was fine.
Tell me about this fight, because I'm always fascinated about this. I was always the wimp. So I was the type of guy that had the gift of the gab. So I would get in with the tough guys, but I was never really tough. So I would just like tell the jokes and whatever, and I would never get beat up. But I mean, if I was in the situation, I'd be fucked. Like they would beat the shit out of me. Tell me about this experience. You said you were 8 years old when this happened?
Oh, no.
What?
That was what was I think I was like 14 or 15 when they finally left me alone.
All right, so this was a consistent thing that was happening, right? You were the little guy in town.
Oh, yeah.
And people were just picking on you. You decided to figure out how to defend yourself, and now you're.
So it really came down to me and this kid were like had some issues, and we decided that we were gonna fight at the end of the year at a buddy's house.
This
so like the whole town, like our whole like grade had a bunch of like little amped up energy about it. It was pretty interesting.
So this sounds like a movie right now. It sounds like this might be the beginning. You might have to sell the rights to this. So you're 15 years old. You make an agreement with the opponent, and you're like, listen, the end of the year, it's going down. School's over. We're gonna meet in the schoolyard. What happened?
So we finished finals or whatever. It's finals week. We finish our finals. We got out our test. So we all go to this one kid's house. We're all hanging out, waiting. A couple other kids do some fights. We're all watching and stuff. And then my opponent shows up. Which now me and this kid are mutual. We're friends. We actually get along fine.
Okay.
But at this time, whatever. So
a deal's a deal,
comes
right?
in, we put our gloves on. I just throw a leg kick and I hit him one time with the right hand, and he just kind of folds.
Wow. So this kid, did he train at all for this or
No, I have no clue. He probably just thought he was gonna beat me up,
That's amazing. So now as you're getting ready for this, is it like the Rocky theme going on? You're 15 years old, you're doing the push-ups, the whole thing, the jogging.
You know what? Like I always train that way anyway. Like I was always trained really intense. Like before I even started MMA training, like I used to just wake up before everybody else in my house, and I would just go for a run, and I would just do push-ups, and I would just do sit-ups. I don't even know why. I just would.
It was just in you, right?
I guess, yeah. And then when I started training to fight, like it gave me more ambition just to practice things and always visualize like head movement. I would always stand in front of the mirror as a kid for like hours and just punch. I would show up to practice like hours before the MMA class, and I would watch the Taekwondo class go, and then I would let them finish, and then I would go out there and I would practice everything the Taekwondo class went through, and then I would practice what we'd probably like learn the day before, and then I would go to my practice.
That's interesting. So now say fast forward, you're in your Amis, getting ready to fight and that whole deal. What gym are you with? The same gym since you were doing amateur MMA?
No, I've had a really interesting career. As for gym wise, I've traveled all over, like between Vermont, New York, and Florida. So I don't really have like a foundation of a gym.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so are you still considered bouncing around right now, or are you comfy right now?
I still bounce around, of course. I feel like that's the way I get my most growth. But when I do stick with the team, I stick with the team for a while. We build a good bond, you know what I mean? But something about me, I like to move. I like to keep going and transitioning to different areas.
And in your corner, if I'm not mistaken, was that not Nico Price in your corner, or was I seeing things over there?
Yeah.
So
that was Nico Price and Augustus D'Angelo from the D'Angelo MMA team.
So what happened? How do you get Nico Price in your corner, for God's sakes? I mean, that's pretty damn good to have Nico in your corner.
Nico's like honestly like my big brother. Really, I lived with him for a while. He took care of me. He's mentored me a lot. He's taught me a lot. So in my travels, like I said, at one point I was struggling to get a fight in the Northeast, almost like blacklisted because of certain things that happened. So then I ended up traveling down to Florida looking for a fight. I was just going gym to gym, using like just trying to find a place.
Can you pause for a second? 1 second. You said you were blacklisted from fighting in certain places?
Not how do I explain this? It's not really. There's just at that time up north there was a lot of politics, and I just had issues with a few different gyms.
Okay.
So the chance of me getting a fight that I wanted to get, or getting me like an actual fight for a card around here, was at that time was a little tougher than it should have been.
So how do you have issues with these gyms? You just didn't get along with the people there, or was it?
Honestly, it was just one gym, and it all came down to just like a small political issue. Are you a political guy? Are you a political guy, or is it like politics? Like we're talking Republican Democrat stuff here? No.
Oh, okay.
It really was just like, let's see. Like I had a relationship with someone in the gym. They didn't want me to have a relationship with that person, pretty much.
Oh wow. So wait, you were banging some chick at the gym? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
This is amazing. Wait, now this is what we got to talk about here. So so was this a girlfriend, or was this just someone you were kind of?
It was just someone at the gym.
Okay. So now, was this someone's girlfriend at the gym? Was like someone with this girl already or something?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay. So they just didn't want you. You were the guy in there, the stud.
It was a gym thing. Like you don't do that, I guess.
Oh, okay. Wow. We had Chris Curtis on recently, and he was talking about how he got boner rolling with a girl. Next thing you know, they were having sex. Is this what happened with you? Did you got the boner and had sex with her?
No.
Okay.
Honestly, we were just training for a while. She kept inviting me to other gyms, and just kind of worked out that way.
That's pretty serious, though, if you think about it. Like, if a gym says, hey, no dating policy over there, I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess, because you don't...
I do agree with it. You're a family, you're a team, you guys train together. You don't want any kind of, like, turmoil, animosity, anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, even with just guys, like, befriending each other and then having beef, and then it's in the gym, it kind of ruins the whole flow, right, of the team?
Right, you're trying to make a family. You guys, everyone there is trying to get better.
So now, okay, so you're over and done with this, the whole girl thing. You broke the rule. Now you're kind of bouncing around here. And where did you wind up after that situation?
So I went back to basically like training on my own for a while and doing things, going to a few different gyms. But I decided to go to Florida for a bit. I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm ready to go pro. I got a fight recently in that Vermont area. I took the fight. I won it really easily, really fast, and I was like, I want to make the next jump. So I decided to go to Florida because that's where you hear about some of the best fighters, some of the best people. So I was traveling around this Fort Myers area, Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay.
And I happened to go to this gym in Cape Coral, actually, called American Top Team Cape Coral. And I stopped in and I was just training, and then I ended up meeting this guy named Nico Price, as you know. My other buddy, Khalil Ali, we're like all best buddies, like basically all brothers. But we all ended up meeting. American Top Team at that gym ended up closing. So like that week, so we ended up, one of Nico's coaches at that time was like, "Oh, we're doing a private session. I'd love for you to come." And then I go there, and there's like a bunch of other pro fighters from all over the place, and we're just all training outside for months. We don't even have a gym. We're just all training out on the road.
So are you the type of guy that doesn't really get starstruck? Like if you see someone that's in the UFC or whatever, you're just like, hey, man, you're just another, guy in the gym. Is that how you look at them, or have you ever been starstruck in a situation?
No, I haven't been starstruck in a situation, really. It's only because we're all human. We're all under God. We're all doing the same thing, Not yet, though. There are certain fighters that I actually really want to meet, though. So
Sure.
I don't know if I'll be like that when I actually meet them, but we'll find out.
It's pretty wild. Just getting to talk to you here, it kind of makes sense how you walked out in BKFC. I was watching you walk out to the squared circle, and it was like you were going to the grocery store. You didn't even look nervous. It was wild. And I'm thinking to myself, how the hell is this guy so calm? Now I'm hearing your backstory. It doesn't seem like much rattles you. Oh,
no. It takes a world ton to like really bother me and get in my head. To get in my head's crazy, but for a walkout to bother me, no way. If there's more people, I'll be even more excited, like more calm. But I will never be like, oh no, I'm walking out. We're just walking.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
They're doing this, like the show is for me in a way. That fight is for me. The walkout is for me. I should love every second of it. I should soak all of it in. I should embrace it. If you're not embracing it or you're freaking out, you're probably in the wrong business.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I know I couldn't do it. I have so much respect for anyone that gets in there, whether it's any sort of competition. I've done like a cage side play-by-play. I've done cage interviews, the whole deal. And when I lock eyes with these people, I'm like, these people are on another. You guys are on another level, man. Like it really is. It's like your mindset. You're so mentally strong to go in there, compete, but it's like. It's weird. It's like this mutual respect that you have with your opponent. Even if there's some beef or some heat, you guys like hug it out afterwards. It's like it's a wild experience. It must be.
It really is. So often I try to explain it to people, like especially this bare knuckle. I feel like for MMA, I've done it for so long. I've sparred at so many gyms and stuff. I'm almost too calm. I'm like, like I don't see any much danger in it. As crazy as that sounds. Something about bare knuckle though, I see the danger again. I'm like, every chance you get, you're getting cut or something broken. Even though MMA it's possible, I find it so much more like intense doing bare knuckle.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, like I had a little bit of a little edge feeling, which I haven't gotten to feel in years, which I loved. But I just soak it all in, man. I don't really get the nervous. I don't get the jittery feeling, but I do know I do have to respect my opponent. I always do. But I think it's a huge thing of not over respecting your opponent. That's always important.
We're live with Tyler Randall. He fought at BKFC 22, and I'm going to show a picture over here. I mean, this is part of the fight on your Instagram, and you can go follow him at _rookie Randall. At 26 years of age, he makes his BKFC debut in Miami and was just smooth, just like butter. I mean, you didn't really know much about your opponent, and you went there and you took care of business. What was it like when you threw the first punch? Like, I mean, training-wise, do you train with, like, you don't train bare knuckle because you could hurt yourself, right? So like, how do you prepare yourself for this?
So actually, I did a lot of bag work, a lot of mitt work, and a lot of hand conditioning bare knuckle.
Okay. Oh, so you did?
I did. It was tough. I learned a lot. I learned there's certain ways you have to keep your hands. Like, there's a lot of small details and tricks that you don't realize until you're doing it yourself. You feel your hands almost, and they're not breaking, but they're calcifying just like your shin bones do when you're hitting stuff. Mm-hmm. So you have to get used to your hands calcifying, those nerves deadening, those tendons getting a little whacked up, though. It was a lot different. And then I had a really tough partner. Like, this kid, oh, man, this kid is so tough. He's from Cuba, but I call him George. His real name is Jorge, but he would sometimes let me do drills with no gloves on. He'd be like, all right, come hit me.
Wait, so he was, and what were you like? You're like, okay.
I was like, let me like put something on my hands, you know what I mean? And then I would put like something over my knuckles so there's no cuts, and I wouldn't hit him 100%, but like I would work stuff, and he would let me like tap and practice different airs to realize where I'm gonna hurt my hands, where I'm not gonna hurt my hands, where I'm clinching, and I can what kind of strikes where you're not hitting exactly flush. You know, I might be hitting the side of your thumb, a piece of your knuckle, a little bit of your forearm, top of your knuckle. Like you're learning what might actually hit, where it might connect, how certain ways to block. It's super important too to like know how to block a bare fist compared to a glove, because you can't really block every single one or you get rattled.
Yeah, it makes sense. And we've had a couple of guys on from bare knuckle, and they said they've learned from multiple fights, work the body. You know, you keep on punching someone's head over and over again, you know, eventually your knuckles aren't going to hold up. Your hand's going to break, you know, if you constantly punch it, unless you hit them in the right spot, of course. But for instance, someone that stands out, this guy Caleb Harris, who jumped on, and he said he started to learn work in that body made a world of difference in his fights. Did you find yourself? Now I noticed that you were attacking from all different angles. Was the game plan to work the body? To like, what was the game plan going into this?
Oh, so we had certain combinations of working certain things that we expected. I was supposed to work the body a little more. But in all honesty, I thought they were just going to stop it due to blood, so I kept attacking around the eyes, cutting them up more. I went to the body. The first punch I threw in the fight, I went to the body. I connected with a jab to the body. I threw a couple hooks in the body, a couple clinch shots, but not too much. Really, if you can't stop one punch, which you really couldn't stop my jab, don't fix what's not broken.
It makes sense. And I mean, you were just cruising throughout that fight. What was Nico saying in the corner as the fight was progressing? Was there anything that stuck out?
Yeah, they wanted me to throw a few different punches, but they were fine with my movement, fine with my everything like that. Going into the fourth, though, my buddy Augustus D'Angelo, he said he was having Nico give him the mic. He was talking, and he was breathe, sip this water. He looked at me. He's Italian, dude. He goes, you see that meatloaf? See that meatloaf on his face over there? And I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. And he was like, I want you to go knock that meatloaf off his face. And all I see is, I look corner of my eye, I see Nico like laughing, and I look back at the corner of my eye to Augusty, and he's laughing too. And I'm like, you guys are a couple of assholes.
So they're just having a good old time with you over there. I mean, they probably...
Yeah, man, they had a front row seat. And that's how I expect it to be too every time. Like, yeah, I love having a corner and stuff like that, but a lot of times I bring these guys out, I trust them with me. I trust them by my side, you know, if things get crazy. But a lot of times I just want them to have a front row seat.
You know, it's funny. Every time I think Nico Price, I can't get out of my head when he was on the ground and he did that hammer fist up on his opponent and knocked his out. I mean, how the hell did he pull? Have you spoken to him about that? Like, how does he do something like that? How do you knock someone out?
So, yeah, that was Randy Brown. So during that camp, Nico was transitioning with a lot of leg locks and like a lot of MMA scrambles and leg locks, and he was catching himself during the leg lock process. People were going for it. He was going for it. He could hook the back of their head and he could hit them there. So it was definitely a practice technique. It wasn't just like on the fly, blah, blah, blah. Of course it's on the fly when you're fighting, but he's done it plenty of times in practice.
No kidding. So he pretty much, that was in his bag of tricks.
Correct.
Wow, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Well,
along with the up kick on James Vick, that's not just like a random thing he just does in a blue moon. That's in his bag of tricks.
He's got to be one of the toughest guys in the gym, right? I mean, that guy is something else, man. Like, his toughness.
Yeah, he is, man. Honestly, he's an inspiration in a lot of ways. You know, a father of 6, like, whew.
6
always
kids?
Training no day in and out. He's always doing at least, there's no day he doesn't do doubles. You know what I mean? And he's sparring every weekend. Like, he's getting just as much work in as any guys you hear about, if not more.
So now, are you a fan of the UFC? Are you a fan of boxing? Like, is there? Do you find yourself on the weekends watching these events, or are you more focused on what's going on with you?
So I don't watch much of boxing. Every once in a while, I watch certain guys because I think it's kind of cool. But like, not gonna lie, I fall asleep.
Me too. I'm with you.
And honestly, some UFC I fall asleep. Not the last one, but yeah, I watch UFC as much as I can. When training's crazy, I hate when they're on middle of the day. You know, I don't like that. Always throws me off. But I try to watch as much as I can. I watch as much bare knuckle. Honestly, sometimes I'll just catch myself like when I meditate, when I do certain types of meditation, because I do different types. One of them, what I'll do is I'll listen to certain music or Stoicism, and I'll just watch random MMA fights from leagues all over the world. Because there's amazing fighters all over the world. And of course, the UFC is the top of the top. you know, and then in my opinion, then you have one, and then PFL and Bellator. But you can learn from everybody. You can learn so much, whether it's just natural reaction or anything like that. The way Conor McGregor says he used to watch animals move, that's important, because humans have the same reactions, the same tells for striking and attacking no matter what.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense. And if you're following what everyone else is watching, you might miss out on all the good stuff that people aren't watching, catch people off guard. It kind of makes sense. So now you're 26 years of age. You make your bare knuckle debut. What is the goal? Where's the end game here? Are you looking to stay with bare knuckle, or are you looking to get back into the MMA world? What are you looking to do?
But you know, that's an interesting question. As a martial artist, especially at my point in my career, I really just want to do every fight at a time. You know, whatever fight comes up, if it's MMA, if it's a Thai fight, a boxing fight, bare knuckle boxing fight, depending on the stage and the offer, that's what I'm really interested in. You know, I'm ready to perform. I want to perform as many stages as possible to make the biggest showing that I can. I love the atmosphere of a large crowd. That's what feeds me. That's what fuels me. You know, bare knuckle MMA sounds sweet. Regular MMA sounds sweet. I would love to try to make a run for that bare knuckle 25-pound belt. I make that weight class easy, and I'm a great size for it.
So you're content. You would stick with bare knuckle. I mean, bare knuckle is really rising. It's kind of wild what they're doing with their sport. It's completely entertaining, and I feel like if they build a roster of fighters, I mean, they already have these big names coming in, but now we're seeing younger guys coming in, and it looks like they could build a roster here. Would you like to be on that roster and, like you said, go for a belt?
Yeah. Of course.
So did they follow up with is this like a multi-fight deal? Is this a one-off that they did originally, or like what's the deal with you? Like, how'd you leave off with them?
You know, really it was just a one-fight deal for this contract. But we're in open discussion, of course. My manager will be talking to them, Perceptive Management. But I'm pretty sure I should hear back. I mean, the atmosphere was great. They seemed like they really loved me. I loved the show, and I definitely performed.
And we had a friend of the show, and she's in our live chat right now, Kendall, who showed up at the event.
She is awesome.
It looks like you guys really hit it up. She said something about meat bananas. What is a meat banana? Do you know what that is?
I don't know if she's talking about my hand. But as you can see, the swelling went down like a lot. I can send you a picture sometime of what it looked like right after.
Wow. So, yeah, it looks like you healed up pretty good.
Yep. So I was at the point where that was just looked like a potato. You couldn't see any knuckles.
And what was the after party like? Did you wind up going out afterwards, or did you keep it low key?
Man, some family came down. We just went back to my room with a couple of my buddies. Because a few of my coaches and all my buddies had to drive back to Fort Myers that night.
So now you don't seem like the party type. You don't seem like the type of guy that goes out get white boy wasted. Do you do that? Do you have a good time?
Every once in a while on a blue moon, you know what I mean? I do enjoy going a little wild. I really do, not gonna lie. But I pretty much smoke a lot of weed to keep myself calm, and so I vibe.
Hey, I don't blame you, man. And I'm up on this CBD thing. I'm not on the good stuff. I wish I was smoking weed, but we don't. But CBD, I'm all over, and I love it, man. It puts me like, it just zens me. It makes me all chill. Do you find?
Correct.
I mean, listen, it's crazy how it was ever illegal. This weed should be legal everywhere. It's insane. Like, it helps. It actually helps people with anxiety and all that stuff. Do you find? Like, the UFC now is more lenient on it as well. Do you smoke before a fight? Do you get a big spliff? Bong?
So depending on like the rules and stuff like that, I don't like, I like to smoke fight day. This fight, I wasn't really able to smoke fight day.
So bare knuckle doesn't allow it?
So I don't know if bare knuckle allows it, but I did read through my contract, and who they use in case you do get tested or whatever. They check it to see if you've smoked past 11:59 p.m. after weigh-ins.
So they do test then. So they got something going on. They don't want people running around all juiced up.
Right. They have some sort of testing. But they didn't do any testing for this one.
Oh, they didn't do. Okay.
To my knowledge, they didn't test me at least, and from what I've heard, they didn't test any other fighters.
Oh, so you wanted to just be pretty much safe, just in case, right?
Yeah, I just didn't want to lose my purse for no reason.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And so it's kind of crazy. So then that means, I mean, anyone can be going in there and could be all juiced up and stuff. What do you think about the whole steroid thing, picograms, the whole deal? Does it bother you, or you're like, whatever?
It's just crazy, man. So like, I've seen the difference of like high level fighters who like are on stuff and who aren't. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't make a difference for certain guys, but the certain other guys, you do see a crazy difference. Like, this dude is beyond me, beyond anything. But what I've come in to learn, man, are those guys have a really weak mental.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, like, their organs or whatever, they have a weak mental, man. Like, when it comes down to it, if things start happening, they always break. They always lose because they need that. They need whatever it is that gives them their edge.
Have you been around any guys at the gym that said, hey, man, try this or give this a go?
So luckily not with the people that I train at. You know, I have had that situation. People offer me that stuff up north. And then when I was wrestling in college. But no, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Creatine is the only supplement that I really would try to like take or anything like that I've used a lot. And also I have no crazy reason to be big. I fight at the 125-pound division.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm already big enough.
Sure. Yeah. And I tell you what, I was just talking to a guest before about these smaller weight classes. They're getting more and more exciting. When I was getting into the sport, I was always like, I want to see the big knockouts and this and that. And now 125, 135, you got some real killers at these weight classes.
So I remember, like, when I was young, I was like, man, like, I used to watch the athletes at the 125 division and never think they were super crazy because you had Demetrius Johnson, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And because none of them had that extra edge or the knowledge or whatever it was back then. But then the 25 division started to grow. You know, they had Sergio Pettis, Henry Cejudo. Like, that's when things are really changing. Now Moreno, Figueiredo, Perez, you know what I mean? They recruited a lot of guys who were from LFA 125 belt holders. They grew it. And, dude, they're amazing fights now. The 125 power's there, the technique, everything. The 35 division's even crazier.
Yeah, 35's nuts. Is there a dream fight? Like, right now, if someone were to throw a fight at you and you could say, okay, I would love to fight this person, who would it be?
That's tough, man. I don't know. My only reason like that is because, like, since I really gave up on, like, my normal, like I used to be like a stressed kid in college, trying to work jobs, trying to, like, do, like, this normal life and train, and then, like, let all these other things in life bother me and stress me and weigh me down. Mm-hmm. So it got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna give up on all that. You know what I mean? Like, I ran out of money. Basically, I had no money or whatever. It was time for that. I was like, I just want to fight. Some people are happy just selling daisies and, like, making a little bit of money, and they're happy with life. I'm one of those people. I don't care what else is going on in life. I'm happy with life as long as I can train and fight. So I quickly realized, like, that was my priority at a young age. Like, this is what I needed to be doing. So it doesn't matter to me, like, who the fight is or what the fight is. It's all about the process of getting there, meeting the people that I'm training with, the experiences at training, the fight venues, meeting other people who love the sport too, or whatever they might be interested in, whatever it is. But this, the journey, that's my favorite part. So it's just tough for me to pick one certain fight or one certain person to fight. Like, when I just think about getting to whatever fight.
Oh, it's a fair answer right there on a tough question. So now, this is your first bare knuckle fight. It looks like this is your dream, and you're living it out. So I'm proud of you for doing that. My question is, do you have? I'm assuming, do you have another job, or are you living in the gym?
This is all I do. I just live in the gym.
That's awesome. So now, listen, I'm a big fan of people just chasing a dream, especially if they have a talent and they know the proper direction to go in. Clearly, you know what you're doing here. You go into bare knuckle, you look great. So now, how does this work? Are you rooming up with people? Are you, like, doing favors for people? Like, how does this work?
So it depends. You know, for a while. So when I first went to Florida, luckily there was a family member who I stayed with for a little while. No worries, you know. I stayed in my car for a little while after that. You know, place to place for a little bit, which, you know, I didn't mind. You know, the gym had a shower. You know, I had enough, like, extra money for a little bit to get some food. Then teammates started letting me stay with them. I got closer with teammates, literally became family and brothers to me. I started staying with them. I had a certain management company at one point that hooked me up with a place up north. Then I transitioned back to Florida, staying with different friends again. But it's just staying in gyms too. Yeah, man. I basically haven't really had a home in a long time. So it's a tough road. I bet but it's worth it, I guess, if you're really chasing something that you love. But you know what? The thing is, like, yeah, I do love it. You know, who else can really say that they gave up on everything like normal in their life to chase their dream? Not many people. No. And then not many people can say they put that on the line and they made it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, what about parents? Your parents, are they all for this, or what do they think about this whole lifestyle? Crazy. So, growing up, my father hated it. Mm. My father hated me doing this, hated that I was even training. Actually, for a while, I trained without him even knowing. it actually kept us away from each other for a long time, but now actually grew us closer over the past few years. My mother's always been a huge supporter. She doesn't want to see me get hurt or anything, but she realizes the more when I was young, the more I trained, the less chance of me losing, less chance of me anything like that happening.
Sure.
You know, because she saw my wrestling journey and she see how I cut weight, and she was just around for that. Luckily, you know, she didn't see many of my matches. She saw a few, but she used to bring me to my practices a lot of times. My coach couldn't pick me up. So, yeah, man, they knew this is the only thing that's inside of me. It's gonna instilled in me. I lost my best friend growing up, who was one of my training partners, and he ended up killing himself, sadly to say. And I think that's another reason too why they know that like there's nothing really that can take this from me. Like I was always willing to die for it anyway. So no one was gonna like sacrifice or pull it from my hands, no matter what happened. Even when I broke my back or I got really sick, like it didn't matter. I'm willing to go through whatever it takes to get what I need to do, get what I have to feel inside me back.
Wow, that's wild, man. That's some story, man. Like I'm telling you, when you hit the top of the heap, the M goal, they're gonna be knocking down your door and making a movie about you. Who would play you in a movie?
I don't know, man. Me.
You play yourself? You know, it's funny.
I'll figure it out. My brother does a lot of like acting and stuff. Maybe he could give me some tips.
There you go. We have a friend, Nick Newell. I'm not sure if you heard of this guy. He's a one-armed MMA fighter.
FAA Academy over Massachusetts.
FAA. Have you ever trained in FAA?
No, but I was gonna fight one of their guys. I watched a few of their guys fight back in the day. I'm from the general New England area, so we all know everyone knows everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I was ranked #1 in New England at 25 and 35.
No kidding.
As
What about CES? Have you ever think about fighting for a CES?
Oh, I would fight for CES.
It's interesting. We might have to make that happen, man. I love the Birchfields.
Premier FC offered me a fight not that long ago.
Karen, we're familiar with Premier.
Yeah, Karen offered me a fight against Tim Flood.
Oh, okay.
Tom Flood.
Yeah, Karen's awesome. We actually, Karen was that was the first organization we worked with this podcast. Actually,
wow. Yeah, dude, they have Ren and Barrow fighting right now.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
whoa, Ren, what have you been up to?
That's wild, right? Yeah, Karen's. Mike Perry came out of Premier FC. I remember that. Yep. It was like the big
John
thing.
Manley fight Mike Perry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
When I was a little kid, John Manley was actually one of the main people that was around our gym that I trained with.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Yeah.
Small world. Yeah, absolutely. And what about with Triton Fights? How'd you link up with them?
I think when I became Nico posted something about me one time when I finally became #1 in the Northeast. I think it was my last belt fight or something about my last belt fight, and he messaged me and he was like, "I'd love to get this guy on the card," and I was like, "That's me, bro." And then he got me on the card. My first opponent dropped, so they gave me another opponent. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the fight, whatever. He took the fight, and I ended up getting caught in a heel hook in like 30 or 40 seconds. And not that I don't roll or I can't defend it, I just got overzealous. Mm. I thought I was already out of it, and I would already start punching, and he re-reaped my leg. And I was like, oops.
But it's funny, you're the type of guy that just shakes it off. It's crazy. The next thing you know, you're in bare knuckle. Isn't that not wild?
The way I look at it is like what am I? I cry all month about it, like be like, oh, I'll never fight again. Like, shit, man. Somebody's got to lose, and it happened that I lost that quick. Shit, my paper second time in there was amazing that night, but I didn't get the win I wanted, but still.
That's crazy, man. You don't seem like the type of guy that cries. You're not like that whines about everything.
I'm not much of a whiner.
Yeah.
Don't get it wrong. Everybody cries. Everyone hits those moments, but I don't complain. I let it be. I let it ride.
Yeah.
I'm really with the flow kind of guy. Just ride the wave, brother.
There you go, man. Well, listen, Tyler, rookie Randall, live on the MMA-Holes, Bare Knuckle 22, got the win, the first win over there. Real excited to see what's coming up next. And is there rumblings on which way you're going to go, or we're still just waiting on the call?
Just waiting on the call. I'm not going to lie, I had a lot of fun. Something about punching someone with your bare hand is a lot different. I'll tell you that much right now. Something different about it. But it's super effective, I'll tell you that, because you don't hit somebody hard, and you're already seeing the marks.
Mm. With this opponent, did you notice, like, when you were hitting this guy, you're like, oh, I got you? Like, was there, like, moments in that fight where you're like, oh, I got you, man?
So, not going to lie, I felt after the first round, I had his number. By the end of the first round, when I started backing to the wall, I felt like I had his number. But I knew I wasn't going to be overzealous with it. I thought maybe I could just close his eye, and that'd be that. Because I had it leaking in the first. The second round, I did the same thing. The 10-second clacker went off at the end. So I was like, 10 seconds? Fuck yeah. So I ran out there and threw a big bomb, and I missed. And I went to switch my stance after I threw the right and throw an uppercut, and he hit me in the shoulder, and I fell down. But I started laughing because I was like, man, that happened to me yesterday, or like last week, because I did the same dumb shit. So,
so that's why you were laughing? I remember that. Yeah, so that's why?
Yeah. I was sparring one of my Cuban buddy, and he did the same thing. He hit me in the shoulder, exact same position, because I got overzealous. And I sat on my butt, and I instantly thought in my head, I was like, they told me not to do that, and I did it again.
It's funny, man. When you see someone laughing in a fight like that, the opponent's got to be very worried, right? If someone just starts laughing, it's like, oh shit, it's gonna take a lot.
He stood up and like chest in the air, like, oh, I just dropped you, and I was like laughing. And I was like, yeah, you didn't drop shit, brother. Like.
That's awesome, man. Well, listen, thank you for coming on. I see someone in the chat. I don't know why this sticks out, but Casey Jones wants to know, can this guy do a McGregor impersonation? Can you do any impersonations?
No, I'm not much of an impersonator, sadly to say. I mean, a lot of times I can try to stand like that guy and throw hands like him, but that's about it.
And what do you think about McGregor? Is he going to come back and kick some ass, or is he going to fall flat again?
He should just sign a bare knuckle.
Whoa, wow. Bare knuckle. That'd be something else, huh?
He's a boxer, right? He likes to box. He has an Irish boxing stance, which is designed for bare knuckle with forearm and shoulder blocks, Why not?
How did you think Artem Lobov did? I mean, he beat Paulie Malignaggi, which is crazy. What did you think about Artem in bare knuckle?
Well, that's a whole different ballgame. The way he fights is like it's meant to take damage.
It's nuts, right? That guy.
And he's fucking got throwing cinder blocks behind his arms, just swinging them. But not gonna lie, I didn't even watch that full fight.
No, huh? Didn't like it?
So I probably watched before I did the bare knuckle tryouts. I probably watched a total of 3 bare knuckle fights. After the tryouts, I probably watched about 6 or 7 bare knuckle fights a day.
So you're like, all right, I want to see what I'm getting myself into.
I wanted to see my competition.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So it wasn't even on your radar, really. And the next thing you know, you're in bare knuckle. That's nuts.
Yeah, I love it. I've loved the whole process so much. So another thing I like about this journey is like people always try to like, oh, they message this promotion, they try to reach out. They do everything they can to make things happen. But part of the sport is just letting it happen.
There you go. Man, you got the right mindset. You're the guy people should be going to for advice here. I should be calling you up for advice, for God's sakes. You're all calm and cool. All right, I'll be sliding into your DMs, be like, yo, man, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to cry. Well, listen, Tyler, I appreciate you coming on. And when you have a fight coming up, hey, let us know, and we'd love to have you back on. If there's any sponsors or any shout-outs you'd like to do, now's the time to do so.
Oh, I'd love to give a big, huge shout-out to Gumbo, LLC. Great guys over there. WB Home Improvement, the Lightning Realty Group in the 239, Roman Roofing in the 239. All those guys have been a great supporter of this. Syndicate Boxing over in the 239 is a great boxing gym to stop at. Fight Zone MMA, D'Angelo MMA in the 239. I recommend both those gyms more than anything if you can get to those areas. And honestly, and last thing, Jordan Blaustein Chiropractic, best chiropractor in the business. That's all I got, man. If you want to follow me on Instagram, _@RookieRandall.
There we go. Well, listen, Tyler, thanks for taking some time out to talk to us, and we're looking forward to your next fight.
Yes, sir, brother. God bless, and thank you for having me, man.
All right, there he is, Tyler Rookie Randall, live on the MMA-Holes. What do you think, chat? Seemed like that was an interesting story, man. Interesting. Very interesting. I tell you what, man, I don't mind interviewing these guys making debuts and stuff like that. I think they're more interesting than, these guys have been in the game for a while. Yeah. Right, Ellie? What do you think? I mean, that was pretty cool. Really nice guy. And he's got fucking meat banana fingers, right? Is that what it is? Meat bananas? Banana meats? Anyway, all right, so we're going to do a little some news. We're going to jump into the news. Make sure you hit the fucking likes. Hit the like button, friends, if you had a good time tonight. We had Big Mo on. We had Tyler Randall. Go give him a follow on the IG. It's _Rookie Randall with 2 L's. And I'll show his Instagram page. And if you're just jumping in here, run it back. Let us know in the comment section what you think of the two guys. Really fascinating. Really, really fascinating story. He was talking about, how he got bullied and then kind of bounced back. And next thing you know, he's beating people up. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Quite interesting.
All right, so if you look at the thumbnail here, we spoke about We spoke about Usman versus Edwards. Vieira versus Tate. If Miesha Tate wins this fight, she wants a title shot. She wants a little that belt action over there. So that's interesting. I mean, Miesha Tate is very close to the strap again. She's a former champion, so she's looking to get it done again. And we thought she wasn't even going to be back in the UFC, and here she is, close to a belt. So what do you think about the return of Miesha Tate?
I could give two shits about Miesha Tate.
You don't care about Miesha, do you?
Nah.
Okay.
But I did want to point out, and this is completely irrelevant, so please forgive me, but Two Joints said, Minnie Mouse, again, Jesse, doesn't Ellie have a say in what she wears? It's funny you ask, because she actually does. Every morning, I give her 2 onesies to choose from. And when Minnie Mouse is an option, she always goes with Minnie Mouse.
She loves the Minnie.
That's a true fact. So, yes, she has a say, and she likes Minnie Mouse. What you gonna do about it?
He's not gonna do anything.
Minnie Mouse wins, bro.
He's not gonna do anything. There's nothing he can do. He's been called out, and how dare he criticize Ellie's Minnie Mouse fetish? Yes. The news. Let's go over to the news over here.
Yes,
and let me
sir.
see some of the stories you dropped in. So we spoke about Miesha Tate briefly. I mean, Jesse doesn't care about it. We're gonna react to the fights this weekend. I'm not the biggest Miesha Tate fan. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I would love to see her get smashed. Although I want to see Miesha Tate home too. I would like to see that Fukin rematch. What do you mean why?
Why do you care at all?
Because I want Holly home I want Holly to get redemption.
Yeah.
I was in the building. Holly was beating Miesha, and Miesha chokes her out, takes her belt, and I was like, "What?" The crowd went crazy. I'm sorry. Crowd went crazy. I was like, "There's no way that just happened." It was nuts. That win was crazy by Miesha Tate, and I want redemption. I want redemption for Miesha Tate. So I think no matter what happens, I want to see the next fight, Holly Holm, the Preacher's daughter versus Tate 2. That's what I want to see. Kamaru Usman fighting Leon Edwards makes sense, right? I mean, Leon is right there. Jorge falls out. You can't keep doing Leon dirty. So you got to throw him a title shot against a man he's lost to already. Leon Edwards is pretty damn good. Does he beat Kamaru the second time?
Nah, nobody beats Kamaru. Sorry, Leon. Although, I do have an article on Leon, like saying that nothing really made sense for him for a title shot, but regardless, as far as a replacement was concerned with Jorge Masvidal. But even still, even if he got a replacement, I would say he beats the replacement and then still doesn't beat Usman.
So they are in the works. It's probably early next year. It looks like it's almost a done deal that Edwards will be fighting Kamaru Usman. So it's not like completely official, but it kind of makes sense because you think Masvidal is probably going to fight COLBY on TUF. They're probably going to do the TUF show. I mean, it's just a no-brainer to put that together. And then where does that really leave Leon? Does Khamzat fight and then fight Leon? That was supposed to be, I mean, that's kind of weird. And I don't know, do you throw Gilbert Burns, who's floating around in the mix? They're saying that Khamzat's going to fight Burns, and now that's not really a done deal. So I don't know. I think Leon's going to just wait for that belt. I think that's what's going to happen. The UFC's probably going to give it to him.
Yeah.
So.
She's like a little old woman, how she looks at the phone. She's like this, like a little old woman.
She got that. It's because she's missing the teeth. It looks like she's missing her dentures. She's very serious. She's, listen, it's hay bear.
Let me look at this closer. I can't quite see.
All right, let's see what the chat has to say about the Leon situation.
Quite see the turnips. Usman better come to wrestle in that fight, says Prosper. Homegrown Bud says, I feel I deserve the title shot next. Leon got fooked, says Meridian Heights. All I think about is a massive knickerdoodle.
You know what? Leon really didn't. If he gets a title shot against Usman.
I think he meant snickerdoodle, but.
If Leon gets a title shot against Usman, he kind of didn't. Jorge did him a favor. I mean, I think Leon beats Jorge anyway. But,
Wonderful.
We got Sanosi donated.
If Leon somehow beats Usman, Dana gonna cry. They got Paddy for the UK market.
Now every time a donation comes in, I get anxious. I'm like, oh God.
Thank you, Sanosi. Appreciate that.
Is this going to be what destroys my life? I hope the parents aren't watching kind of thing.
We have a new donation. But it's a little It's a little spicy, the donation.
I feel like
so.
I have to like take Ellie away and cover her ears.
God, I can't wait until that thing
I
hits.
hope she never hears it.
Thank you, Sonosi, man. Appreciate the $2. And hit the like button, friends. Hit the like button. Like we said before, we have a Thanksgiving donation. I was going to make it for a low price, and I was going to make the song shorter. But then when I had the idea of making Jesse do something... and
I actually obliged this time, and I did not argue. Like, the one thing I did not argue on, I'm extremely embarrassed by.
Well, maybe we'll never get it, so you don't have to worry.
What's worse is I listened to it back again today, and I blushed like by myself. Like I was.
You know, it's funny. I had it
so
on in the car. I wanted to hear how it sounded in the car. So I was driving with it, and I had to lower the volume because I didn't want to...
I never want to hear it again. Like, I never want my child to hear it. I don't want our parents to hear it.
It's funny because it reminded me of Howard Stern. It reminded me, like, there would be bits on Stern where I would have to lower the show.
You know what's funny? Today, I actually thought about texting you while you were at the gym and saying, hey, do you mind if maybe we don't do this one? I was actually going to do that.
So.
But...
All right. Okay, anyway, thank you, Jesse, for participating in that. Right, let's get to some news stories here.
Yeah, so Woodley obviously lashed out at Jake Paul. Jake Paul, if you're not aware, nixed the rematch with Tyron Woodley after Woodley already got the tattoo.
Yeah, we know that, though. Yeah. He's fighting Fury's brother.
So, no, well, I mean, is that confirmed? I don't know if that's confirmed.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
But regardless... Woodley completely lashed out at him. Now I don't have the complete quote. If you click it, I can actually read it for you. I'm unable to have the quote right now, but yeah. So basically, it was just like a back and forth. Woodley got the tattoo. I think he's more pissed the fact that he got the tattoo and he's not getting that rematch.
Yeah, you know what though? We're gonna find out that tattoo is half real and half fake. So he's probably, I'm sure he's probably just keeping it as is, not really showing his hand. But I think it's a little sus. Like I don't think the whole tattoo is real. I think some of it's real and some of it's not. You know what I'm saying? So he can easily just finagle something on there. He just wants to make sure that ship is sailed.
I mean, it's in a good place.
You know who Tyron Woodley's going to fight?
Who? Oh, Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to happen.
Yep.
Tyron Woodley versus Dan Hardy. I guess they're going to box. I don't know what the... Put him in bare knuckle.
Dan Hardy and Tyron Woodley in bare knuckle?
Put him in bare knuckle. That's what I would like to see. I don't want to see him box. I don't care. But if you put him in bare knuckle, I'm interested.
Yeah.
That's what I don't give a fuck about Dan Hardy, to be honest with you. Like the guy's he's a nudnik. But put him in bare knuckle. Let's go. Let's go, man. But yeah, it looks like those two are gonna fight. Suddenly I'm rooting for Dan Hardy. I tell you what, I'm rooting for Tyron. Listen, I'm not a big Tyron Woodley fan, but I am not. There's no doubt I would root against anyone. I wouldn't root for Dan Hardy. Dan Hardy he's just like this weird cunt, man. I don't know what's going on with that guy. Anyway, excuse my French, Ellie. What else we got here? CRIS CYBORG? What does she got going on?
So CYBORG, she accepted the Kat Zingano fight. So Zingano was kind of pushing for CYBORG for a long time. She hadn't heard anything from CYBORG. And then CYBORG was like, all right, let's do it. And she gave a location.
Oh, thank God. B-Man, hold on. B-Man agrees with me on Dan. I thought it was the only one. I am not a Dan Hardy fan in any way. Heavy Meadow, thank you for the subscribe. Appreciate that.
Heavy Meadow.
I like that. Heavy Meadow. All right, back to Chris.
So, yeah, the fight is on. It's something to look forward to, guys.
That was quick. I was trying to take a sip there, Jesse.
I'm sorry.
All right, anyway. Okay.
I mean, I explained part of the news.
All right, I'm going to fight Kat Zingano. I'm going to smash her face I'm going to smash what's left of her tits. All right, so Dan Hooker.
Yeah, Dan Hooker was very, very upset about the UFC 267 stoppage. At the post-fight press conference, someone had asked him about it because he had argued the ref. And he said, let it break. Let the bone break. The ref stopped it because they're trying to protect the fighter. But Dan Hooker's like, fuck that. Let it break. Keep the fight going. Don't stop the fight early on me is basically what he said.
Oh, Dan. Come on. What are you doing? You really, are you, what the fuck? Come on. Just, you collect the bag, you leave. It is what it is.
I mean, I get it, though. If fighters come
Let
in
it
there,
break. Come
willing
on.
to lose everything, you know?
Come on. What are we doing here? Jorge Masvidal?
Yeah, so he doesn't know how much of a reality Nick Diaz is anymore. He says...
This is from Ariel's show? I can talk about it. I watched it.
The MMA Hour. Yep.
Yeah. It was so fooked up because Masvidal had bad internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
So Jorge and I think it was Malky Kawa. Is that his manager? I can't remember.
Yes.
Whoever his manager is. They were just glitching in and out, and you could barely get what they were saying.
It was a little rough.
It was so. Did you watch it?
I watched it off this article. I didn't watch the whole MMA hour. I just watched this article.
It's rough, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, here's the thing. I could understand if, like, for instance, when Tyler first came on, he was in the sauna. He doesn't do many interviews. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Jorge Masvidal's with his manager. You fire that manager if they can't give you a proper internet connection for an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you.
what are you doing?
God
Make sure you got a good internet connection before you jump on Ariel's show. It's just ridiculous. And then you had to sit through 20 minutes of just, or whatever, however long it was, of just glitching, and what a mess, man. But there's not really anything you can pull out of there. What did he say about Nick? I mean, Jorge is apparently
There's
injured.
a whole like huge quote. If you want to read it, you gotta click the link because it's a big quote. But
Hold on a second. Let me let's go over here. Let's go to Cyber Jesse. You ready for Cyber Jesse?
Cyber Jesse. Everyone say God
Jorge
bless you to
Masvidal
Ellie.
doesn't know how much of a reality peach-shaped Nick Diaz is anymore. I want to see him not get hurt. Although they may not be friends, Jorge Masvidal still has known Nick Diaz for years. The two fan favorites competed together under the same umbrella in Strikeforce in 2010-11, and Masvidal waged war against the Diaz clan at UFC 244 when he faced off against Nick's younger brother, Nate Diaz, with the UFC's baddest mother *Kerr belt on the line. Masvidal has also been linked to potential fights against the elder Diaz in recent years, and was even the subject of a call-out by Diaz in late 2019. That, of course, was before Diaz finally ended his 6-year hiatus from MMA with a comeback fight against Robbie Lawler at UFC 266, which the Stockton native lost when he essentially waved off his own fight after being dropped in the 3rd round. The performance and its unusual ending left some observers concerned about Diaz's motivations and his future in the sport. When asked for his thoughts on what he saw from his fellow Strikeforce veteran, Masvidal admitted that he wasn't exactly encouraged by the scenes from UFC 266. "It was not the Nick Diaz that I'm accustomed to, obviously," Masvidal said recently on the MMA Hour. "I was fighting alongside Nick when he was in Strikeforce, and I was in Strikeforce, so I knew a very different Nick Diaz. I don't want to see the guy get hurt, man. I would love to see him in peak shape, go in there and *CK some people up, but I don't know how much of a reality."
This could be the worst story of all time. I got to get out of here. I don't know. I'm sorry. I have zero interest in this story. And this guy reading it's making it even worse. So I got to get the fook out of here. Let me get out of this story. Jesus Christ. Does anyone want to hear that shit? They're scrapping. They're scrapping for shit. What is this Conor McGregor shit? Did you see his back and forth with Chael?
I didn't see the back and forth, but I didn't see the back and forth, but I did see Chael calling him a rich weirdo. I did see that.
Yeah. So and then he said, I don't know. It's just like fucking A. You know, even Chael's getting on my nerves. Like they're all getting on my nerves now. Like I don't like. It's just goofy. Like the whole thing is goofy, and of course Chael's gonna play along too because listen, I mean, if you got Conor yapping at you, you know it's gonna get people talking about you. So Chael's not an idiot. He's gonna engage, and it's just goofball stuff. You know, I'm kind of over people talking shit like within the MMA world with each other if they're not gonna really fight. You know, and you're not gonna see a Chael Sonnen versus Conor McGregor fight or anything like that. So it's just goofball shit. You know, I don't know. It's just silly. What was it? 3 stories today? What the hell?
So,
what the hell would you?
Thanks. I had very little time. I actually did have another story.
Hold on, let me
and
go to the
someone brought it
MMA's
up in the
website.
chat of an MMA fighter killing his doctor over a vaccination dispute.
Now we're talking. Like
Now,
this is what we got to get into.
I have the story, but fun fact: Ellie took over the computer, and I couldn't put it up on the website.
No excuse. We run the best show on the internet. I'm going to go to the MMA news department on the MMA-Holes.com. So the MMA news department over here, and here we go. We can pull some stuff. What do we got? Look at all these juicy stories. Or where's the guy that killed the COVID situation?
I don't know if it's in here. I didn't check it in here.
All right, these
Just
are
look
for
up
UFC
MMA
Fight
fighter
Week.
kills doctor.
There's so many stories here. Like the Gaethje, like Makachev, like I don't give a fuck about that. Andrea Lehman's in the picture, right? What did she say? Valentina Shevchenko is pretty close to perfect. Well, she's right about that. She's not lying. The more Conor stuff, like everyone's trying to put the Conor stuff in the news. When you finally hit that main card parlay, is a Bleacher Report. All right, so what am I looking for?
An MMA fighter killed his doctor
Did you do
over
UFC
a
news?
vaccination dispute.
All right, let me see.
It wasn't UFC, it was MMA news, but
I think it was here too. Oh, you pulled it up on... Yeah, where was... you had the tab.
I had it freaking
It was
open.
on MMA News? Okay, let's see. He killed his doctor?
Yeah.
Which side of the vaccine dispute was he on?
I'm not quite sure about that.
All right, where is this guy?
Hold on, maybe you're going too fast?
I don't know. It's not on the first page. It's not that big of a story, apparently. I mean, you would think that would be like the #1 story.
Right?
Where'd you pull this thing?
MMA News.
Our internet's like... It's like Masvidal's internet.
Here we go. MMA fighter allegedly kills doctor over COVID-19 vaccine dispute.
Do you want the robot to read it?
I'll read it.
It's short.
So, professional MMA fighter Akhmal Koziev has been arrested following an argument about COVID-19 vaccines with a doctor that allegedly turned into capital murder. The 3-1 professional was arrested on Sunday, November 7th by the Guam Police Department, according to a report from the Guam Daily Post. Koziev was charged with aggravated murder as a first-degree felony and aggravated assault as a second-degree felony. Dr. Moran Rabadi, 42, is a local radiologist for Guam Memorial Hospital.
What are we... You're pointing at the floor. What are you pointing at? Jesse's... She's reading the news, and she's going like this on the floor. So there's chapstick on the floor. What do you need? What did you need? And she's like vigorously pointing at the floor as she's reading the news. I'm like, what do you want me to do? You're pointing at the floor.
He picked up chapstick.
So what do you want me to do? What did you need? But can you tell me
The way he picked it up too, he was like...
What? I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck do you need from me? What did you need?
Her teethers fell on the floor.
Where?
I don't know. I think it was under... Oh.
It's nowhere to be found. It's in her hand. The teether's in her hand. I'm looking all over the floor. I'm like, what are you... And she's like... And she's reading. She's like, get it. Like I'm like, what is...
He goes like this.
It's right here. It's in her hand. Oh, now it's on the floor. There it is.
He picks...
Like, what the hell?
He picks up the chapstick and he
Why do women think that we can just read their minds? Like, let me just read your mind, and then her mind's... Okay, let's get back to the story. Good thing the chapstick is up in the hands.
Okay. I don't even remember where I was.
So he killed the doctor. What was it? Is he anti-vax or is he pro-vax? I'm assuming he's anti, right?
This is when the argument heated up. Koziev is alleged to have put Rabadi in a rear naked choke.
Look at the police report. Read this.
Sir, it's me. It's me. I killed him.
It's me. It's me. I killed him. What the fuck? What the fuck? Wait, hold on a second. Was he proud of this? He's like, oh, I killed him. Want to put needle in me? I killed him. I killed him. Oh my God. When the argument heated up, Koziev?
Yeah, Koziev is alleged to have put Rabadi in a rear naked choke before a bystander broke it up. After getting involved, the witness was struck in the head twice, at which point Koziev went into the house and retrieved a sharp animal bone.
He killed him with an animal bone?
That was left over from an evening meal, which I'm assuming was a chicken bone.
I can't. Listen, I don't mean to laugh at the guy
While
died.
Rabadi tried to run away, Koziev caught up to him and repeatedly stabbed him in the neck with the animal bone.
What the fuck?
Police responded to the scene, which shows Rabadi lying in a pool of his own blood.
Oh my God.
It's pretty rough.
This guy's an animal.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking guy.
I mean, to take the time to go to another room to pick up an animal bone and saying this will do the trick.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
It's a chicken bone, I believe, but I'm not sure. I mean, it could have been
I kill
anything.
you. And then he just goes to the police. It was me.
Yeah, it's me. Sir, it's me. It's me. I killed
What kind of fucking lunatic is this guy? Oh my God. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Killed him with a freaking animal bone. Man, oh man. So I'm assuming he was anti-vax? Is that what it was?
Well, I mean, I would think anyone who kills someone with an animal
You
bone.
poke me, now I poke you.
Probably a little anti-vax.
Holy cow, man. That's a little far. You're going a little too far. Listen, I get it, man. You know, I'm not down with the mandate, but I don't think I would stab someone with an animal bone.
All right.
That's crazy.
Moss, it's time for oatmeal.
Okay. Go ahead. Go give her the oatmeal. I'm gonna look at the UFC card this weekend, then we're gonna get the Fook out of here. I want to see if there's any bets that are worthwhile. You want to say goodbye to Ellie?
Bye, everyone. I'm gonna go eat my oatmeal now.
Get out of here before the donation, please.
Say bye. No. All right. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys on Friday.
Fook off.
Fook off.
Get out of here before I stab you with an animal bone. All right, so let me look at this card. I want to see if there's anything that's worthwhile. Maybe I'll do a little MyBookie. And by the way, shout out to our sponsors. We got Head Rush promo code MMA-HOLES for 20% off. MysticRootsCBD.com. Same promo code MMA-Holes for 20% off. And MyBookie. My Fukin Bookie. If you're looking to watch the fights, we got a pin in the live chat in the description. A big thank you to everyone that uses our link. Does help out tremendously. Guy stabbed the doctor with an animal bone. All right, so looking at the odds over here, Tate and Vieira, a minus 120. I feel like Tate's going to win this fight. I don't care. Let's see. Yeah, Michael Chiesa got an undefeated fighter. And Michael Chiesa is the underdog. Oh, boy. Let's see. Sean Brady, Jake Matthews submitted him. Wow, man, this guy's submitting everybody. Christina Aguilera, what? Ushmal. And I got Court McGee decision. Yeah, this guy looks like he's pretty tough. 28 years old, 5'10". It's a good fight. I'm not betting on it. Yaya versus Kang. Let's see. Do I want to do anything on this? Oh, man, this is like basically a toss-up here. Ronnie Yaya. I kind of like Yaya, though. Let's see. Ray Rodriguez submission. Let's see what we're doing over here. I don't know. I don't know if anything's really sticking out here. Okay, I'm getting where I don't like this either. Let's see. Oh, we got Joanne Wood. Just got married. Scotland. Pretty big favorite. Scotland. Modafferi, Robertson, and Molly McCann. And lost to Barella. Oof. Yeah, she lost to Barella. I don't want any of that action. Oh, here we go. How about Yanez? How much of a favorite is he? Yeah, he's pretty big. He's fighting Beavis. Lost to Vera. This guy is tough, though. I do remember this guy's tough. Yanez, I might just go with the favorite and just take, let's see, if I were to go Yanez, who's a pretty big favorite, but it seems like a pretty lock bet. Let's see. Oh, I got to sign in. Let me sign into this shit. Oh, yes. Make sure you hit the like button, you fooks. Hit the Fook and likes. Don't be a gaylord.
Gaylord.
Oh, I'm in. Okay. Let's go to MMA. Any bets sticking out to you guys? Okay. Let's see. Where's Yanez? We're still on that card. Wait, hold on a second. Do I got to refresh this thing? Oh, Jesus. I got to log in again. Mother, father. Let me log in. I did it all for my bookie. My bookie. So you can take that cookie. Okay. Everyone pretty much sings Limp Bizkit when they sign into my bookie, right? All right, logging in. Log it in, baby. Okay, here we go. Fortis MMA guy, I think half the guys on the show are from there. LOL. Just watch the co-main. Low key hopes a Tate gets KO. That'd be great. That'd be great. That'd be so funny, man. She looks good though. She looks like she's in pretty good shape. Oh, Lupita's on the card. That might be one I might go on. I like watching Lupita fight. Adrian Yanez. Oh man, he's a minus 315. So even if I put 100 on him, what are we getting? We're getting 31.75. I think he's gonna win though. Do you think it's gonna? All right, I'm gonna hold off for now. I think he's gonna win though. Like, I think it's an easy $31. That's what I think. Let's go to here. Okay, so I like the Yana. Let me look at Lupita. Let's see what we got. Lupita. Where is she? All right. So she took the loss, but she came in on short notice on this one. She's a slight favorite. Hughes and 25-28, 5-1, 5-2. I might go for it. I might go for the Lupita. She's tough, man. She's really tough. The submission, so she lost the Penne, split decision, and this one here was the short notice one. Before that was LFA. Or should I go with the under? She fought a guy, Sam. Jinyu Frey lost to Angela Hill. Interesting. Well, this is tough. I might want to go with the under on this one. Damn, man. Nothing's really sticking out. I kind of like Lupita. She's a favorite. I kind of like it. How about Mr. McKinney, baby? How big of a favorite? Oh, wow. This is near even. Oh, damn. I mean, this guy's been knocking everyone out. McKinney's been looking savage. Benjamini. Malarkey lost to Maj. He hasn't really been knocked out. It's a good fight. 27-24, 6-1, 5-10. Damn, they got some pretty fun fights on this card. Like, not like superstar names. Kind of want to go with McKinney, but where should I place the bet? What do you guys think? Nothing's really like jumping out at me. Nothing's really. I mean, Yanez, I feel like he's gonna win, but he's a pretty big favorite. So should I go like Lupita, McKinney, Yanez type deal? I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait for Fuqua Friday to pull the trigger. That's what I think I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna save my bets for Fuqua Friday. That's what I'm gonna do. A little cliffhanger here tonight. Thank you, Sonosi, for the donation. Thank you to everyone that dropped a like. Thank you to our sponsors. And thank you to our guests for coming on. We had Big Mo, and we had the rookie, Randall, on the show from Bare Knuckle FC 22. If you missed the interviews, go back, jump into the comment section, letting us know what you think. And that's pretty much it. Friday will be Fuqing off. If we do gaming, it will be on the second channel. That's called Not the MMA-Holes. There's a link in the description where we just kind of fuck off. And yeah, we'll be live for the fights. What time are the fights on Saturday? Is it another one of those weird early cards? Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. It's in a book. Prelims are starting at 1 p.m. Main card at 4. So that's our time. 5, 6. So yeah, it starts a little early. What's up with these early ass cards? 1 p.m. Okay, we'll see you early on Saturday. Hanging with the lady boys. Hanging with the boys. Yes, bitch, yes! Okay. Had to get that out of my system. All right, guys, we'll see you on Friday. Fuqua Friday. And let us know in the comment section. I want to know what you think about the guests. If you have any more questions for the guests, any guests you would like to see come on in the future, maybe Wednesday will be the interview show. We'll see how that goes. And luckily, Jesse missed the brand new donation. Maybe Fuqua Friday, someone will tickle that thing. There's a brand new $69 donation that is incredibly cringe. It's the Turkey Twerk. Friday night. I just need to play once to I need it one time to just embarrass Jesse. Just one time. I'll see you Friday. Fuqua Friday. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-hole. Yeah.